she left. I don't know. I'm about to get into that drama. So, hello, boys and girls. I am live. That's right. Your boy King Jivvy Coates is real. I'm sorry if you hear some screaming in the background. My fucking washing machine sounds like I'm murdering kittens for some reason, and I don't know why that is. You hear that? Oh, I fucking hate it. But, like, who's buying a new washing machine when, like, really, it works, so why should I care? But that's right, this isn't clickbait. News Mommy is back. Now, we're going to go a little bit of a deep dive here. We're going to go down a little bit of a little rabbit hole. We're going to go through we're going to go through a whole ass arc, right? We're going through a whole ass arc of why Brett Cooper is in the place she is. Now, there is backtracking that we need to go even before we even get to Brett Cooper. Now, there is a YouTuber, also a right-wing commentator known as Steven Crowder. And Steven Crowder had this drama a while back where he had a feud with the Daily Wire. Now, I'm sure the video that we're going to go into covers it. But it was kind of this weird situation where Steven Crowder was basically looking to leave the Blaze. He was looking to leave the Blaze. He was moving on, and here comes the fucking Daily Wire to offer him, hey, we're gonna help you out. We're big for the conservative movement. We care, dude. We care. We're the good guys. We're not like the fucking weird wokies and shit. No. We care about the conservative movement. Shocker, they did not. And they offer Steven Crowder a contract that was like super shackling. Like in the contract it talks if you get demonetized from YouTube, you basically lose a large portion of your money that's supposed to cover production, pay your staff, pay people who work in your videos or whatever. His whole crew would be set up to where they were held to a standard because of the shackling that the Daily Wire was putting on. Not to mention just a bunch of other egregious things. Now, you might be thinking, well, they're offering him like a ton of money. Why wouldn't you put those stipulations in to cover their ass, right? Well, the problem being, Steven Crowder was already demonetized a few times, actually. He has bounced between being monetized, being not monetized, being kicked off YouTube, coming back on YouTube. The dude has constantly been up and down. Now, I used to enjoy me some Steven Crowder, but I kind of fell off when I saw the video of him and his wife having their argument on their porch. And he was, like, talking to her about wifely duties, and he was being, like, super manipulative, and kind of a douchebag in that situation. Very controlling and disgusting. Hey, Light Chops, he's fucking returned. No, I thought we killed him. Steven Crowder? Or me. I have no idea. Love you, Light Chops. You're a good one of the good ones. But the whole thing kind of left a bad taste in my mouth, and personally, I would never speak to my wife that way. There is no way that you're going to get camera footage of me talking to my wife that way. So, it's just one of those things that I couldn't see me doing that, so it left a bad taste in my mouth, and I stopped watching his content. But during this Daily Wire thing, I did find it kind of scummy that this group that's supposed to be working for the conservative movement, that was at the time vehemently against big tech and their censorship, is willing to censor their own creators under big tech. Well, that brings us to Brett Cooper. Now, Brett Cooper was kind of put in by the Daily Wire on the show The Comment Section. And we're going to watch a video to what happened to Brett Cooper, where he's going to cover probably some of the stuff I just said and even more, dude. I am so excited to get into this. I have been asked about it in different comment sections. So, I want to see what happened to fucking Brett Cooper. What's the deal? What is Ben Shapiro doing there over in his evil cave, thinking about how all the ways he can grift his way to success? Here we go, boys and girls.
Okay, after weeks of speculation, Brett Cooper, who commonly mistaken for Ben Shapiro's daughter, has left what a lot of people thought to be her own YouTube channel. But no, not. Daily Wire's YouTube channel. And since uploading that video to the comment section with Brett Cooper...
Well, here's another thing that I don't know if he'll get into, and I'm sorry to pause it this early. We're like fucking 16 seconds in. But there is something that needs to be addressed about the fact that the Daily Wire was going to take control of the YouTube channel. The Louder with Crowder would then be their show. So whatever you build on their platform, even if you previously had been building, you were then like basically under the control of the Daily Wire until the contract was up. And whether or not you get your channel back was kind of up to the Daily Wire, which, to be honest, is a very cringe fucking thing to do. Like especially when you're talking about like some of the younger people coming into your movement, people coming in, they want to really have their voice be heard. They want to go out there and do their thing, and all of a sudden a big company like the Daily Wire steps up, hey, we'll help you out, man. We'll get you some production value. We'll get you really push you out in the algorithm. We'll help you do your fucking thing, which every small creator wants. Everybody like Rev Plays Games just showed up saying that's sketch. Yeah, it is. And the thing is, like, some people like me and Rev, right, and even Light Chomps, we all run YouTube channels. We all run YouTube channels of various success. Even my channel, I can have a video pop off, get like a few thousand views, or I can have a video get like 10 views. Now, under the banner of something like the Daily Wire, we have more of a chance of other people are going to be looking at our thumbnails, making better thumbnails. They're going to hit the right tags. They're going to put the right description in. We're going to just get on there. They're going to make us look as good as freaking possible 24/7, which with somebody like me would be very hard to do, considering how many taint jokes and how often I flop my own penis on screen. I've never flopped my penis on screen. That is a joke, you fucking troglodytes. Anyways, you then look at the fact that they would own all your crap, so all you built up before is not yours. Yeah, they put a lot of work into it, but to take the identity of your channel, like the channel used to be called The Comment Section with Brett Cooper, and they just fucking removed her name and slapped another bitch in there. But here we go.
Cooper, announcing their split, there's been a lot of developments. For one, she said that it was her own decision to leave, while other sources claim that she was pushed out. Her fans on TikTok were sneakily asking her to wear blue if she's under an NDA and she can't speak. And she did, but we'll get to that. But then most importantly, the channel with over 4.5 million subscribers called The Comment Section with Brett Cooper is now just called The Comment Section and is handed over to the Daily Wire. And Brett will be starting over from scratch. So, who's to blame? What's the real story? All of that and more. I don't know, let's get cracking.
Oh, dude, whip me, daddy. Yes, it feels so cool. The Rev has appeared. That is why I'm able to make these jokes, is because I have a Reverend in chat, and he's blessing the chat with holy water every second. He's hitting the screen with as much holy water as possible, and by holy water, I mean he's jerking off onto the camera.
Okay, so if you clicked on this video, you probably know who Brett Cooper is. But if you don't,
fucking
she's
news
essentially
mommy,
a conservative commentary YouTuber who has blown up over the past few years, and she very much exists in the sphere of Jordan Peterson, Candace Owens, Ben Shapiro, etc. She's been posting roughly twice a day for the past 2 years, with of course the help and the production side from Daily Wire. And if you don't know what Daily Wire is, it's a right-wing media company founded by Ben Shapiro and Jeremy Boring in 2015. According to The Spectator, the Daily Wire raised an undisclosed round.
Dude, you know what's fucking cringe? And he might get into this. This is just past lore that I know. I have not seen his video. I actually used to follow this guy on TikTok. I find his rhetoric just like, not rhetoric, but the way he talks is so fucking holy jizz-worthy. Thank you, Light Chops, for coming in with the joke. But he's just like jizzes fucking charisma onto my face. But fucking Jeremy Boring, they call him the God King at the Daily Wire. Anytime you're at a work or a place where you work, period, you shouldn't be looking at your boss be like, hello, God King boss. That is not a good place to work. I've never seen a place where I'm going to call my boss the God King. That is fucking cringe.
Of capital in 2023 at a valuation of north of $1 billion. So no longer just some small little YouTube production studio, and they are on track to surpass 200 million in revenue by the end of this year. So yeah, got big
dude. Well, here's the thing too, it's like, I think some of it is them being, they started right wing. They were going to, I'm just saying that they're saying it's a grift in chat, and I do believe that portions of it is grift. Now, I do not believe it started there. I think it started as they were like, okay, Ben Shapiro was like, I have right-wing views, I want to have this platform, I'm building this thing, and he started building a platform. I then think that he saw the position of there wasn't a lot of media companies out there for right-wing news, realized that he could spin shit in a way that not a lot of people were good enough to spin shit in, because here's the thing, Ben Shapiro was very, very adamantly anti fucking the sperm, the dick, and the holy glory hole. Oh my god, that is wild. That is a wild fucking chat. But Ben Shapiro used to be adamantly anti-Trump until Trump was the guy that everyone, oh, gift. It's a gift. What can I say? Oh, dude, I'm fucking retarded. But anyways, I'm going to cover the grift now. He was adamantly anti-Trump, and then all of a sudden it was not politically expedient to be anti-Trump, and the dude just started fucking glazing that orange cock as hard as he could, dude. He was like, give me orange cock good, I'm Ben Shapiro. Women can't get wet, but orange cocks can drip in my mouth.
Money behind this channel. They produce movies, series, children's shows, and of course they have talent like Brett Cooper and many others. Now, a few weeks ago, seemingly out of nowhere, and I think the point really needs to be made, this is a YouTube channel, and it feels just like one person that is running it, right? But then suddenly, another.
Yeah, dude, I can't fucking read. I'm like retarded or something. The ability to read isn't my best strong suit. What I'm good at is making sex jokes and pretending I have valuable opinions online.
Girl steps in, the producer of this show, which, I mean, a lot of the time you don't even know that it has a producer, and she says in this video that she's filling in for Brett Cooper today, and she didn't really elaborate as to why, and then just continue with the story. And you know, at the start of this, the first video, seeing how similar this girl was to Brett, a lot of her fans thought it was funny, with one of the top comments reading, "You've actually nailed everything about Brett, her mannerisms, her inflections, her hand gestures, her facial expression, her smooth ad transitions, laughing face." Over 2,000 people agreed with that. But then as you go through the videos, when she fills in again, and then again, and then again, this funniness, you know, that everyone thought it was, started to turn a little bit to like, okay, a little bit concerned now. Rumors then started floating around that she was being pushed out by the Daily Wire. And the first person that I heard speak about this whole situation was Ian Carroll. And he had this to say.
And so I started digging in more. I talked to James, and I went and I started digging in and found my own source right at the Daily Wire. And now I've had even more come and corroborate it since I reported on it. And it's not just that the Daily Wire is pushing out Brett Cooper. It's actually that Brett Cooper is under one of these contracts that has her basically tied to secrecy and silence, because now they're terminating her contract. Their arbitration clauses are coming into play. So she is in a secret court of arbitration, not a public court, where she is under NDA and can't say anything about it while they spin whatever narrative they want about it. And they're circulating around letters internally that are saying like, oh, Brett Cooper wants to leave, and that is not the case at all, apparently, according to everyone at the Daily Wire that I've spoken to. And it's that she had disagreements with Jeremy Boring over what happened with Candace, probably, and certainly more disagreements in terms of like the culture there and what's going on, and is now getting pushed out. They are promoting her best friend, who was her maid of honor at her wedding. They offered her a contract that was so lucrative she couldn't refuse it.
The best friend that her bestie had was already offered.
Producer Reagan,
bridesmaid.
Yeah, her producer was her bridesmaid at her wedding this year, and they apparently allegedly gave.
Dude, here's the thing. I don't care what. Like one of my best friends, if he were to have like have a platform, right? He has this big platform, but he's under this company, and I'm producing it, right? I'm making crispy cuts that every time one of these cuts happen, the entire audience just spontaneously combusts in their underwear to where they are never allowed to wear them again because they just blow holes through them. They have this entire busting because of my cuts and stuff. But then he's getting kind of fucking strong-armed by the company. And he's like, I'm going to leave. Do you want to come with me and fucking edit and shit for me? And we make our own platform? Yes, I'm down. Instantly down. I'm like, yeah, we're doing this. And he's like, are you sure? You're going to probably take a little bit of a pay cut because we're not going to start off as strong. I'm like, yeah, but I've been here with you, buddy. We're fucking here, bro. We're here, we're gonna take it to here, and we're gonna keep escalating until we both have massive erections. That's how you fucking do things with your friends. You don't like give each other erections. That's pretty fucking lame, dude. That's gay. It's fucking gay. But here's the thing, dude. You get in this thing. You're not gonna. Why would you stay if your buddy's leaving? If you were like fucking best man or fucking maid of honor at your best friend's wedding, right? And then all of a sudden they're dipping, and you're like, I might as well stay and get the paycheck. I might as well replace you on your old channel. There is no justification for it other than you're not really a good friend.
acting classes to help her imitate Brett's mannerisms.
Now, there's a lot more detail to what Ian claims in here. I mean, this is like a half-an-hour conversation, but I'll bullet points. He alleges that Brett was being pushed out by the co-founder of the company, Jeremy Boring, due to disagreements. He claims that Brett is getting screwed 9 ways till Sunday while Jeremy tries to make it seem like they are splitting amicably. And then he also claims that Brett is under a non-disclosure agreement, so she can't speak publicly about anything without being liable while they can set the tone for it. And to that point, and keep in mind, this could be entirely a coincidence. I don't know how often she wears blue, but from this article that The Spectator wrote about it, they were saying that a lot of her TikTok fans were commenting saying, wear blue on your last day if you are under an NDA and you can't speak freely about this situation. And she did. So it could be a coincidence. It could be more than that. Now,
dude, she wore blue. It's fucking over. Brett Cooper wore blue. And so obviously she's under an NDA and can't talk about it. I don't even think she had to wear blue, though. Come on, guys. It's the fucking Daily Wire. They're a big company. Any big company's going to have you sign an NDA, and it's going to be skeevy as fuck on the other side. They are going to make sure that you can never say anything, and they're going to make themselves look like good, pretty little boys, and they're going to be all clean and sheeny while you're sitting over there just getting, like, endless amounts of fucking bio waste pumped onto your body. It's just gonna be every toilet from Taco Bell spraying onto your fucking chest because you can't say anything. Now, I know that there's a point that NDAs can be broken. I know that there are situations where they can be broken, whether they're liable, there's liable going on about you, whether there's, oh no, dude, your internet committed suicide for a second. What happened? Well, obviously, it didn't commit suicide. What actually happened is your internet needed to take a break. It needed to take a break. Well, it had profound amounts of orgasms happening into the background from my silky smooth voice that isn't nasally whatsoever. But the NDA, like, I know that there's stuff that can break an NDA, but I don't know all the legal ins and outs that cause the breaking of an NDA, that cause these shit fucks from happening. I really do not know. It's one of those things that I probably could learn. I could be like, legal, tell me about it. And he's like, oh, legal, fucking NDAs can be broken if Trump gets out of office or whatever. But let's get back into it. I'm ranting again.
In this last day announcement that she made, she says that the rumors of why she was leaving was mostly true. But the difference being that it was her choice to leave, not that she was being pushed out, although she didn't say why she was leaving. I'd love to know. And if she never says, even when she creates her own YouTube channel and stuff, that'll be sus. But then she also played a short clip of Jeremy Boring. Is his surname really Boring? Well, it's boring today. But even then, he doesn't comment on why she left. He just says she's amazing and that he wishes her.
This is a random caveat that I'm going to get into. Having a shitty surname is something that is kind of fun to deal with. Now, I have, like, my channel is King Jiffy Coates. It is, my last name is Coates, right? I am a fucking jacket. I am a fucking clothing item, and I actually like it. I have thought of a million different ways to spin that to work in my favor. Boring is a bit rough, though. Boring's a bit rough. That would be like, yeah, you ever think about how rough of a life Peter Dinklage probably has to have? Now, Peter, you're fucking Peter, you know, it's like your penis. It's your penis. It's also like a euphemism for dick. And then Dinklage is like peeing. So he is peeing dick. Peter Dinklage, and he has dwarfism. So he's a micro peeing dick. I don't know, that's something that lives in my head 24/7. Now, that might be offensive. I'm sure it actually is very offensive, but I think it's kind of funny to think about that he is a micro-peeing dick. IDK, they stink. You're allowed to speak if it's legal, and it's scummy, they'll have to publicly admit you're telling the truth when you take it to court speaking. I mean, that sounds fair. That sounds like a correct assessment of an NDA, but again, I don't have the legal qualifications to speak on that.
Are all the best. But that is not where the story ends. Because number one, for Daily Wire, this isn't their first public controversy / splitting with talent. And two, how can a story be finished when you've got internet sleuths? Early in 2023, you've got another prominent conservative figure called Steven Crowder, who you'll probably recognize from the Change My Mind video series, and he had a hugely public feud with Daily Wire. It was reported that they offered him a $50 million contract to work with them for just 4 years. That's a staggering amount of money, which he then turned around and made public, saying that it was a slave contract.
Well, here's the thing. It wasn't $50 or $50 million to him. This is something that is commonly misconstrued about when you see written on screen. Far right blowhard calls 50 million Daily Wire offer a slave contract. You might think, wow, dude, they offered Steven Crowder personally $50 million. No, they offered his production team $50 million for 4 years. Now, let's say he spends about 20-30 million of that throughout this time. He's not getting all that money. Now, he's still making an obscene amount of money. He is, definitely. But this is factoring in his entire production cost, his different places that he travels to talk. It's a bunch of different things, considering also at the time he was the biggest conservative YouTube channel on all of YouTube. At the time, there was no one even close to him. Now, I think that has changed. I don't know, now, if we go to, I know the comment section was closed, but if we go to Louder with Crowder, we'll go Louder with Crowder. I don't really care about the divorce. He's at
the Department of Injustice wanted you.
He's at 5.7 million subscribers, and now he doesn't really post as much on YouTube anymore, I don't think. Let's see. 10 hours ago. No, he's still posting pretty consistently. But he used to be very, very big. Like, this is back when Ben Shapiro wasn't even close. Ben Shapiro was, I think, like, at 4 million subs at the time. Now, Ben Shapiro now is at 7. He is much bigger than Steven Crowder. But at the time, Steven Crowder was much bigger than Ben Shapiro, and there was no one even close to Steven Crowder. With it, their closest was probably Ben Shapiro, and I think they were with within the moment of like 1 million views. He was almost the biggest news YouTuber on the platform in terms of running a daily show. I mean, he was beating the Young Turks. He was beating a lot of people, and there was a reason he was offered this much, because he was the biggest talent on the platform at the time. So it was nice to see somebody of his size speak out about wrongdoing in the behind the scenes corporatization of the conservative movement. Again, I think the way he talked to his wife was fucking cringe, and it was one of the reasons I don't watch his shit anymore. Also, I kind of found myself disagreeing with him on a lot of points, and it got to where he was getting kind of insufferable.
Contract. Now, there's a lot more to this whole feud than just this particular part, but he said that he objected to the specific parts of the contract where his pay would be cut if the show lost advertisers or revenue that couldn't be replaced within 90 days. And because they wanted him to host this show and it be ad-friendly, and so he started accusing Daily Wire of, being this big conservative media giant, being no different than big tech, and, quote, putting profit over the honest defense of conservative values. Then, after that, the Daily Wire lost arguably one of their biggest, content creators at the time, Candace Owens. And this also turned pretty big, public, ugly, after she and their co-founder, Ben Shapiro, got into a huge disagreement about her remarks on Israel and Jews. And now, you've got Brett Cooper. But at least the
video with his wife made me question what kind of guy he is off camera. 100%, I would agree with that. Who the Sigma are we watching right now? King Jiffy Coates, baby. I'm over here just pounding my fucking chest. I am a god. I am a crimson god. Are you guys okay? Did I get too loud?
She was already upset.
Okay, I heard that. Oh, look at me smile. Hi, the sweet girl. Hi, the sweet girl. You're so sweet. Anyways. I know. I'm like, I'm a big man. Who's your baby, your baby? Who's my little baby? Anyways, Reverend, find me the original channel, and I shall reward you with the secrets of the universe. The secret of the universe is how much ropes I can spew on a daily basis. It's gotten less since Brett Cooper has left the scene, I have to be honest. I just want to know who you're watching, King Jiffy. Oh, this guy is Dylan Page. I used to follow him on TikTok when I used to use TikTok. The dude is one of the best when it comes to like short news content. He especially when it comes to internet news, very, very informational type guy. Now, his opinions, he doesn't really feel like he ever makes very hard standing opinions, but at the end of the day, I find him like information based, I guess. But he used to have like kind of fun back and forth with Brett Cooper where they would like push each other. Not like push each other like in terms of rhetoric, but like push each other in terms of like funful play, like, hey, this is what News Mommy said. Hey, this is News Daddy. It was kind of funny. I enjoyed that. That's where I first heard of Brett Cooper. And I mean, she is the queen. She could show Ben Shapiro's wife how to get wet. I'm pretty sure.
Time it didn't get as
dude, that's why they weren't gonna offer her more money, is because she was getting Ben Shapiro's wife wet, and he was so mad about it. He told fucking Jeremy Boring, he's like, Jeremy Boring, get her off of the show right now. My wife has never gotten wet. My wife has never been wet in the entire time we've been together. But then she sees the woman version of me, Ben Shapiro, the almighty Jew, and now she's pouring tons of juice out of her vagina. Her vagina is now pouring more water than it has ever poured before. She's now the wettest of the wet. I need her. Why am I going into like old-timey, like, it's like, you are now taking the castle, not for the king.
Ugly, at least publicly, as the last two. One of Brett's friends made a video about the whole situation, saying this.
Regarding Daily Wire, how big and how long will you last at this company when you keep losing your biggest...
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't expect that voice coming from him. No, I didn't have it in my head. Like, I didn't have him, like, talking like fucking the sergeant from Halo. He's like, I didn't know that anybody. I didn't have him talking like that, but I had him like kind of in the same speech pattern as Dylan Page, just kind of that quick talking speech pattern. So when he started talking like this with kind of the Mike Tyson lisp, a little bit thrown off right now. I'm sure that somebody's gonna call that racist somewhere, but I don't know. I had him. I see people with glasses, and I just assume that they're gonna come off with that kind of air, and he kind of comes off kind of soft.
Female content. Like the Daily Wire, it's quite literally a sausage fest over there. They smoke their cigars in their little circle and they chat and they have a key. You're the voice of conservative America and you're really trying to build this conglomerate that is like a Walt Disney. And Daily Wire just has these 4 white conservative men and they're branching out. They get a black woman, gone. They get a white Gen Z girl, gone. It's like, what are y'all doing? How are you this big of like a conservative leader and conservative like entertainment industry, but you keep losing the people's trust?
And remember when I said the story's not over when you got internet sleuths? Well, this is what I mean, because Brett Cooper's fans went to her Instagram and found that, she deleted these wedding pictures of her and the girl that has now replaced her, and that she also has unfollowed her. And she also apparently unfollowed the...
He looks like Steven Sharp. He looks like Shannon Sharp. Fuck! God damn it! This is why I punch myself in the nuts 6 times a day. Okay, calm down. We're okay. He looks like Shannon Sharp, Steve Urkel. Fucked up the joke, dude. This is why I'm the worst content creator on YouTube. I was playing Marvel Rivals. My wife's fucking laughing at me in the background. I was playing Marvel Rivals earlier, and some guy on the opposite team started saying, rope neck jump. Dude, that's the best. That is the best fucking sewer slide comment. Rope neck jump while we are winning. It was hilarious. Rope neck jump. I want them to all rope neck jump.
Daily Wire accounts and Jeremy Boring. However, she continues to follow other Daily Wire hosts. But I mean, hey, what that represents, all just speculation at this
failed
point.
that job,
Until she drops a video, why I left Daily Wire, we don't know. But here is the point that I've been waiting for someone else to make about this whole situation, but I just haven't seen yet. YouTube and social media in general has come in and it has really changed and transformed the media landscape. 20 years ago, if you wanted to do what someone like Brett Cooper does, you would more than likely have to, climb the corporate ladders of these media companies like Fox or CNN, and you would just pray to be lucky enough to be given a chance to host a show. And if you do, great, but you don't own any of the intellectual property of what you're creating. Heck, I know from personal experience, seeing some of these contracts from old traditional media, you sign your rights away for almost everything. Your face, your voice, your likeness, and then they can take that and essentially transform it into whatever they want. And just like what we saw even with like Steven Crowder's contract, you're not 100% free to say whatever you want. There's always stipulations in the contract. And then, worst case scenario, which happens quite a lot. We've seen it with...
Well, here's the thing, too. He brought up Steven Crowder, and this is what pissed me off really, really bad during that whole controversy, is everyone was looking over the fact that Steven Crowder had the exact problems he said. He said, we are trying to build a movement where people have these genuine opinions, an actual grassroots movement here, and you guys are going to take away all originality from it by creating this corporatized bullshit. It was an old way of doing contracts. It was the Fox News approach. It's the CNN approach. It's the MSNBC approach. It's the Onion approach. Have we talked about the Babylon Bee? Anyways, it's the same bullshit that you see with those, and it's an old style of doing things, because now it's all about, like, it's all about you branding. You're branding around the person instead of branding around the company, and they're trying to brand around the company. And when you're doing that, you're not going to ever build on anything, because you're not building on personalities. And when it comes to social media, it's personality based. I mean, I sit here and I yell and I talk really loud and I make hand job gestures, and then my baby looks at me like I'm fucking Satan incarnate. Oh, little munchkin. Anyways, and I'm sitting here and I'm personality. You're here because I have a fucking obnoxious personality. Rev's making fun of me because I can't even do my job correctly. This is what we're here for. And once I get put under, if I get put under a contract, they're like, well, you can't say this. You can't say that. You said this on the live stream. We're not going to need you to say that anymore. I lose my personality, and all of a sudden I'm just your normal generic motherfucker, and I am not entertaining anymore.
Carlson. We've seen it now with Brett Cooper. We saw it with Candace Owens. And plenty more. If the day comes where, you know, you decide to part ways, or they decide to part ways with you, that show that you've essentially been the face of and built up, obviously with their help, not yours, entirely theirs. Because at the end of the day, you are just an employee making...
You're right, Chad. I am the Antichrist. I woke up out of my mom's vagina. I popped out. I was like, Satan's good. And the doctor's like, shut the fuck up, bitch. And went to slap me, and his hand disappeared. And it appeared in his butthole, just like he had to shit out his own hand and replace it onto his body. And they're like, oh no, Satan's real. He's real. It's this child. So then they had to hide me in, like, catacombs. So I was raised and born and built from the depths of the catacombs, where I then fought dragons and wolves.
A product for them. But then YouTube came along and destroyed that structure of having to work underneath a media company and just be the talent. And it ushered in this new era, the one that we're living in now, the era where you're not just the talent, you're the owner. And you know, for the individual creating the content, ownership is so important. And so I have no idea why we are trying to recreate...
You should know. The Reverend in chat's like, you should probably know this is the reason the Vatican sent me. Rev's gonna be popping on my door. He's gonna be like, hey, Jeffrey, I'm gonna put you back into hell, you piece of shit. And I'll be like, you'll never get me. You'll never get me. You know what I mean? Yeah, okay, Jiffy, you completely normal, insane person. I am... You know, in my normal life, for my day-to-day, I come home and I'm like, hello, Goobledygook machine. That's what I call my baby. Look, she's already looking. The Goobledygook machine. Yeah. Anyways, I come home. I say hi to the Goobledygook machine. I tell my wife I'm going to shit on her chest. She says that's disgusting. And I say, it's happening anyway. It's going to be real squirty, no flirty. And then I come and sit in the living room. And I think about how I'm the most normal person in my household. That no one really... I've hit the peak of normality that I'm going to start playing golf again. I'm going to be, like, real serious with golf, too. I'm going to be like, I'm a golfer again. I'm doing the golf thing. So, suck it, fucking chat. I'm normal.
This old structure that existed in legacy media and then put it into YouTube. This structure where a media conglomerate with millions and millions behind them can use the talent, but then also give them zero ownership. I mean, we just saw it with the YouTube show, Hot Ones, having to be bought for a staggering $82 million from BuzzFeed, which was...
You know that shit I said about, like, authenticity and how I could never bow the knee to change? You offer me $82 fucking million? You offer me fucking $82 million? I'm starting a fucking OnlyFans if you want me to. I'm fucking showing up and I'm not cussing anymore on my streams. I will be such a good boy. This is the news, everybody. Have you seen the news? Brett Cooper might be coming back. The Brett Cooper and stuff. Oh, yeah. I'll be so fucking nice for $82 million. You have no idea. Dude, I will never say slapping clit on stream again, dude. And I slap clit like a gentleman, goddammit. I don't fuck with no giggity schmoodle.
The media company behind it. And I mean, just look at Brett's top comments on that last video. We weren't watching the comment section. We were watching Brett. People are loyal to people, not networks. Brett did not bring the comment section to life. She is the comment section. It won't exist without her. So if you are...
Dude, it's because her eyebrows, like my eyebrows, me and Brett Cooper have the eyebrow power. We have power in our eyebrows that nobody else can understand. The amount of our eyebrows caterpillar across our face and make everybody want to come so hard that it puts us at a level that other people don't understand. See, if this is what I when I'm listening to rap music, I never feel like I can truly understand it, even though I'm a fan. I'm not a part of the culture, right? So unless I'm listening to Mac Miller or Eminem, I'm really lost. I'm like a sheep or a small puppy in the woods. But when I listen to Brett Cooper, I know that me and her are the only people that face the struggle of having caterpillars on above our fucking eyeballs.
And you know, a new creator wanting to come up and you're watching this, I urge you, go independent, stay independent. It is a lot harder. It takes a lot more time, but I ask you, what is the price of freedom? What is the price of freedom is what I was trying to say. And true ownership. That's important too. Now, to be fair to Brett, she's not left with nothing. She's left with her community, and ultimately, that is the most important. So while, yes, it is over for her and her 4.5 million sub channel, I believe on the other side, it's just the...
If you're curious why I moved my image, you all can thank me later. Look at News Mommy. This is like what it looks like when I spread my butthole. It's just glorious. But you see what I mean about the eyebrows? Look at our fucking eyebrows. Only we understand the power of the eyebrow, dude. Only we know the true power. Like, let me see if I can do the Brett Cooper picture. Hold on. There you go, dude. I did the eyebrows. You're fucking welcome.
Beginning, she's what, 22 years old? And whatever she does in the future, she'll be much better off doing it independent. And so, with that being said, ever told you guys how much I love you? That being said, you're shocked. Let's finish the video. Love you. I'll see you soon. Bye. Woo!
News Daddy. See, yeah, he was the News Daddy. So he had News Mommy and News Daddy, and they would play off of each other. Now, the reason we're watching this, and the reason I'm putting this out into the ecosystem, the reason I am diving into this drama, I'm curious if Brett's new videos will have millions of edits like the comment section. Maybe, who knows? But we are actually going to go into, there has been a trailer, a fucking trailer, a little smidge visual ballsack nutteroo, right, of information that has been popped out. Brett Cooper has a new channel. Ooh, News Mommy is back. News Mommy is back.
After weeks of speculation, Brett Cooper has left.
Well, it looks like the rumors...
It's fucking Quartermac Man, dude. The quartering. The most boring fucking content creator on earth. Not gonna lie, dude. Dude mad puts me to sleep. He's like, Brie Larson is fucking lame and she doesn't have big enough titties. And because she doesn't have big enough titties, I don't like her. I'm fucking Quartermac. I think he's a solid dude. He probably is like a nice guy. He does get drunk a lot and tweet weird shit, but who doesn't, man? Come on. I mean, it's the same excuse for Kanye West. I'm just kidding. I don't think he said anything wildly anti-Semitic on Twitter.
We're true.
Brett Cooper's departure has caused quite a stir.
The internet is absolutely melting down.
Brett Cooper did, in fact, announce her exit.
Brett Cooper announces she is leaving the Daily Wire.
Brett Cooper is officially leaving the Daily Wire.
She is walking away.
Brett Cooper has left.
She is gonzo.
Brett Cooper says,
I'm out of here.
Now Brett Cooper has nearly 500,000 subscribers without a single video yet.
She already has a channel. There's now at 500,000 subs.
If you look at her numbers, Brett Cooper is popping off.
She has one of the fastest growing YouTube channels.
Bro, Hassan's probably hella mad about that. Let's be honest, bro. Hassan, the fucking baby. Look, what are you doing, bro? What are you doing? Why are you creeping? You're so cute. So creeping. Anyway, fucking Hassan's probably hella mad. He's like, oh no, I'm supposed to be the most important person in the world. I'm fucking Hassan Piker. I've had terrorists on stream.
But what's the end all be all for Brett Cooper?
The big question on a lot of our minds is, what is she going to do next?
Schedule you later, like chomps. God damn it, the amount of fucking nipple curling that's happening right now as this music fucking chimes in, dude. I know I'm cutting the tension, but that's what I fucking do best. That's what I do best. Forget about it. Stage left even. No, but dude, the amount of hairs that were... I had to stop my hairs from fucking popping erections on my body while this music queued up, bro. What the fuck? We were talking about editing. If this is the amount of fucking editing power that she's coming into on her first fucking intro into her channel... That's amazing, dude. My editing power is sometimes I put in a funny skit where Cortana, like, tells me I have a micro penis. That is the expense of my insanely good editing. I mean, come on. I release one video every Friday that has decent editing, and then I'm gonna come! And that's what I get for my chat, dude.
The world you desired can be won. It exists. It is real, it is possible, it's yours. But to win it requires your total dedication and a total break with the world of your past. Fight for the value of your person. Fight for the virtue of your pride. Fight with the radiant certainty and the absolute rectitude of knowing that yours is the morality of life, and that yours is the battle for any achievement, any valor, any grandeur, any goodness, any joy.
Wait, I think she just turned that mic off, though. Is that Anya Rand's voice? I don't know who Anya Rand is, but this is very inspirational. I don't know who the fuck Anya Rand is. Is that like something I should know? Dahlia, you know women's stuff. Who's Anya Rand? Anaya Rand? A-Y-N Rand. She's like a feminist icon that I should know about. But you know I don't really care about women's opinions. I don't know names. I was hoping I'd get an eye roll from that, but I got nothing. I had nothing. I care about what women have to say. I do. I promise.
That has ever existed on this earth.
Are you ready, Brett?
Ropes. Spewing ropes. I came. Damn, dude. On the 30th? So in 3 days. In fucking 3 days. Or... Wait, when would I post? I don't know, dude. I'll fucking post this tomorrow if I have to. But 3 days, she's gonna be back. So maybe 2 days by the time you're seeing this. Whatever. I'm gonna fucking... This is what? She's back, boys. She's back. News Mommy is at it again.
This may look like you're...
We are back in fucking swing of things, dude. It's real. It's just, we're here, we're queer, we're having a good time with it. This is the world we're living in now. We fucking, I'm like 700,000 subscribers and she has posted a short, dude. It's like a fucking 2-minute, like, we're gonna do the thing. I love the branding here. This is really fucking good, dude. I mean, obviously she's utilizing the fact that she's hot, because I would. I mean, that doesn't invalidate her opinions or make her opinions any more powerful. What are you doing? She's just doing like the head tilt. She's got the arms doing the head tilt thing. So she's like, look how fucking cute. She's like, look how fucking cute I am, and her hair's like perfect. Dude, I look so shitty that I use Sylvester Stallone as my icon. I look like fucking AIDS on toast, bro. So that's something that's real. But yeah, dude, this is the real fucking world we're living in. That's the Brett Cooper shit. I think we're we have gone down and we've learned all we can about this. I'm excited to see what she builds. I'm excited that she's broken the shackles of the slave contract. Like, she's had this slave contract for a long time. In the words of Steven Crowder, it's time she unshackles herself. She is 13th Amendmenting herself for freedom. She is looking in Mel Gibson's eyes. She's looking in his slightly psychotic eyes and saying, it is time that I am free. I'm free. Freedom! You can take our lives, but you'll never take our freedom. I'm here. All right, boys and girls. Here we are, another stream with King Jiffy Coats. What the fuck? Real wacky with this one. We're gonna start with the video I was sent, actually. What the fuck? I was sent this video. by somebody in my community. Holy shit, I'm talking. God? Jesus?
I have one of those communities that just,
The fuck? What the fuck? Why was I talking to myself? This is the epitome of bad fucking... I'm gonna look up who this Anya Rand is real quick, because this is driving me nuts, dude. Anaya Rand? Who the fuck is this? Oh, she's like a hella old lady who's dead. Alright, how do I unmute it now? There we go.
Woman who is willing to think. What we need today, what I call the new intellectual, would be any man or woman who is willing to think. Meaning, any man or woman who knows that man's life must be guided by reason, by the intellect, not by feelings, wishes, whims, or mystic revelation.
Facts over feelings. That's right. It probably was. Well, how do you say her fucking name? Annie? Annie? A-Y-N. Yeah, you have fucking autism face. You have fucking dumb face right now.
Where's she from?
I don't know. Like, what the fuck am I supposed to know everything about this bitch? Old Soviet Union atheist falafel. She is a falafel from the Soviet Union. That made the baby laugh. She's slightly racist. She's a quarter Arab. She can get away with it. But yeah, she's a crazy old Soviet. Okay, so she's a fucking.
Ayn Rand is a very controversial, hated, distinct figure in history, and understandably so. She is very polarizing for a certain reason. It's because she advocates for selfishness, which we view selfishness as a bad thing, as evil, as you're out for yourself. You know, you don't care about others. Now, she tries to argue that it's not necessarily a bad thing. She basically puts the preservation of life and one's own personal interests as the highest value.
I don't think that's a bad thing. I really don't think it's a bad thing to put yourself... There are times where you should put yourself first. Like, it makes absolute sense to me. I don't see a world where you don't. Like, you should look after your family. You should look after the core things that are most important to you. And then everything else should come after that. Now, that could be a terrible worldview that you might disagree with me on. But, like, if you're not taking care of you and yours first, and you're trying to worry about every other problem in the world, you're gonna let the people that are closest to you down. Whether you believe that or not. I mean, you should, like, I'm not gonna sit here and worry about geopolitical issues if I can't keep food on the fucking what? If I can't keep Pablo, what the fuck are you talking about, woman? I love you so much. You're just over there saying shit, dude. I was making a jokes because it'd be hilarious if Brett used it. It would be. It's even funnier now knowing that she's like for advocating for yourself first, for being a little bit selfish, because of the fact that sometimes you got to be a little selfish. But yeah, that's the Brett Cooper shit. Well, we got two videos that I can watch next, right? We can watch this Mr. Swirl video, which done by Nick Crowley. It's got like 9 million views. I am interested to find out what this Mr. Swirl is, because he came up in something else that I watched recently, and I was very interested to know who this guy is. Or we can watch the most vile protagonist ever in manga. Manga. It's the manga! We got either one. I am happy either way, dude. I'm having such a good time tonight. This is my most viewed stream of all time, boys and girls. Most viewed stream. I know it's because I used Brett Cooper. I used News Mommy to catapult my own career into the fucking star heavens. I am jizzing on the haters. I do not give a shit. Let's watch something I can make fun of. We're gonna watch this fucking shit. Before we watch it, I didn't give an intro. Here's an intro. Here's an intro for all of you gooners out there. All of you absolute degenerates. Here we go. This is Mr. Swirl, the internet's most disturbed user ever. He didn't add ever, but I think it adds more if we add ever. Done by Nick Crowley. I don't know who the hell Nick Crowley is. He's somebody. But in 2004, German police uncovered a hard drive filled with numerous photos of depict graphic images. Ooh, man was hiding behind a distorted, swirling face. The story of Mr. Swirl. Ooh, this creepy. Very creepy.
Pattaya, Thailand. Two young brothers enter a local internet cafe, take their seats, and begin playing their favorite games. One boy was 13, and the other just 8. And together they sat there and played the way they always did, getting lost in their screens, wasting the day away, until one of the boys fell.
The first game you saw on screen was Doom, and this is fucking Duke Nukem. You're welcome. Nerd moment!
A tap on his shoulder. Standing there beside them was a similarly aged child, a stranger to the boys, but a friendly one who strikes up a conversation and eventually poses an offer. According to the unnamed child, he had a friend who lived close by that owned a special computer, one far better than the device they were currently using, and one that had any game you could ever dream of playing. And he was headed to that friend's home right now, but he didn't want to go alone. It was an offer that the boys just couldn't refuse, and considering the child was clearly around their age, they saw no red flags and agreed to go with him, following the boy to a nearby apartment building, then up 7 flights of stairs and into a dark room. But waiting for them inside that room wasn't some sort of supercharged computer, and it surely wasn't a friend of the boys.
Oh! I didn't know it was gonna go this bad so fast, bro. He literally offered these internet kids like internet candy to come have sex with him at his place. No! No! Why are we here so fast? There was no lube. No lube in interjecting me into this. It just bent me over and raw dogged the fuck out of me into this situation. Jeebus Christ, my dude.
Instead, it was a monster in every sense of the word. A depraved soul who, years down the line, would go on to become one of the most notorious predators ever to walk this earth. An entity known only at the time as Mr. Swirl. And these children had just fallen into his trap.
Pedophile who has been the subject of a worldwide manhunt is now at the heart of a global manhunt. Repeated abuse of a dozen or more underage computer software to obscure his own face in the picture.
Hey guys, I just wanted to announce that I'm currently working on 2 collaborative projects with my good friend Nexpo, aka Ryan. Together we made this channel called Nick and Ryan, where we travel to some of the most haunted locations in the United States.
Yeah, dude, I don't care.
Over there, which has been super cool and super inspiring.
By pure chance, but in
this channel is not going anywhere. Okay, back to the disturbing video.
Okay, so real quick, you're not allowed to watch this, baby. This is this is bad. It's bad. It's bad for the baby. No baby watch this. She's like, no, I won't watch it, Dad. No, bad guys do bad things to babies. That's why if anybody looks at you the wrong way, I'll just hit them with a chainsaw. Stop being cute.
It's unclear if they knew what they were looking for, or if they had just happened upon it by pure chance. But in 2004, German police entered a long-forgotten storage unit, where beneath the piles of junk and old appliances, they'd unearth a single hard drive. Once plugged into the computer, the device revealed hundreds of images, some showing various locations, breathtaking scenery, delicious meals, and CP. The images showed scenes of depraved sexual abuse being done to individuals who were clearly minors, with this abuse being far worse than you'd ever imagine. And it wasn't just one child either, as across that hard drive seemed to be evidence of multiple separate instances of abuse, including images of 3 young boys taken in a dark apartment building.
Why are there people like this, dude? Why are this is why I will always support the death penalty, bro. This is why, right here is why I will support the death penalty. Somebody like this, after they're convicted, needs to be just fucking by a squad of people with fully armored bullets. Just the meanest bullets, exploding ones, the ones you see in Michael Bay movies. That's what needs to happen to these guys, starting with the junk first. Now, I don't care if you're a female or a male predator of this kind. Explosive to the genitals is what you deserve. It goes, oh, boom. And then you're like, oh no, when it used to go boom, I used to be very happy, and it used to be inside of a 9-year-old. And it's like, this is why this is happening. Explosions to the genitals. That is, if I run for president, all predators will have their junk exploded with nitroglycerin.
Discovery was horrid, though sadly all in a day's work for investigators who encountered things of this nature on a daily basis, and it's a discovery that likely would have never been discussed by the media after that one day had it not been for one unusual detail. Typically, in cases involving CP, those taking the photographs and performing the actual abuse will almost always go out of their way to ensure that they aren't shown on camera. That way, if authorities should stumble upon it, they would essentially be unidentifiable. However, the dozens of photos found on this particular hard drive were different. Because rather than hiding just out of frame like all the other predators seemed to do, the man behind these images had instead gone out of his way to ensure he was featured within them, shamelessly inserting himself into every single picture, even posing for them, before, during, and after he had changed the lives of these kids forever. And although his entire body was shown in these photographs, the only thing hiding his identity was the addition of a single effect, one that swirled the man's face into a distorted, pixelated mess, making him completely unrecognizable, and leaving his face to look like this.
What the fuck, dude? This is horrific, dude. This is scary. This is legitimately fucking scary, bro. Could you imagine working this case and you have a bunch of fucked up pictures with this going on, dude? This is the type of shit that people write creepypastas about. How can this be fucking real life? This is the type of shit you fucking write. You're like, ooh, this is gonna kill it on Reddit. I hope that it makes it on Creepcast. No, this is a fucking real dude. And he was like, I'm going to put these pictures on the internet for other people like me, who also should have their genitals exploded. Explosion genitals. He deserves it. His head should look like that after they're done prosecuting him. They should just swirl his head in a blender.
There was something so disturbingly arrogant about it. A man posing with his victims while destroying their lives, hiding behind only a single swirl of color, almost as if he was taunting any investigators who might eventually find these images. And given the clear indications that this man was obviously a serial abuser, and likely still out there offending, tracking this anonymous figure down became priority one for law enforcement in the area. And it's there that he would be given his nickname, Mr. Swirl. And with the swirl being the only thing standing in the way of investigators getting to see his face, most would have assumed that identifying him would be a walk in the park. However, this was far from the case. As the images began to be dissected, it quickly became apparent that deciphering the sensor was going to be far more difficult than initially thought, and potentially even impossible, as the pixels had been
Bro, look at all those fucking kids, dude. It's about a guy who is like a serial offender for doing stuff to kids. And this guy would take his picture, right? He would take this picture and he would post these pictures with these kids, and he would do that to his face. It's just like straight out of a fucking horror movie directed by Tarantino or some shit, dude. This is fucked.
In such a unique way that there wasn't any known method to unscramble it. And quickly, what should have been their most valuable clue, the one that stood so tantalizingly close, became a lost cause, leaving investigators at their first dead end. Realizing that things were about to get much more difficult, the German police enlisted the help of an agency known as Interpol, an international crime-stopping organization with a special unit dedicated to resolving crimes against children.
Here's the thing that bothers me. This is something that we're gonna get a political take from Jeffrey, I guess. I guess we're gonna get a political take from Jiffy. How in the fuck do we have like groups that'll go out there and like clap your ass cheeks if you forget to pay like a certain amount of taxes, right? If you fucking fuck up on your revenue service, you have the fucking IRS just open up, yet people like this exist. How about this, right? crazy thing. We should take everybody in the ATF, which is literally an agency that just governs things that are illegal in this country. We take the ATF and move them over to child crimes. And we just start cracking the fuck down. Anybody that has a sniff of this type of shit on their computer, jail. I think that's the way to go, dude. This is fucking weird.
Interpol immediately began to get to work, attempting to decipher the photos in a different way, this time by using context clues in the pictures to track down where exactly they were taken, which in turn could tell them where this man was from and where the abuse was taking place. But this too unearthed yet another problem. The first batch of images was discovered to have come from Cambodia, but the next showed evidence that the man was in Vietnam, and then in Thailand, and potentially even South Korea as well. Rather than gaining clarity, the locations of these images instead made the search even wider, as the man was seemingly traveling from country to country, committing his crimes and then fleeing, thus never staying long enough for law enforcement to catch up with him, making it completely unclear to investigators.
Well, yeah, dude, this is exactly what he wants. He wants this attention, and he wants people to try to track him. He's playing Catch Me If You Can with Michael Jackson, Macaulay Culkin activity. Now, that's alleged. I don't know if anything actually happened between those two. It's a joke, you fucking troglodytes out there that want to make me look like an asshole. But here's the thing, dude. Here's the thing. This guy's thinking it's fun. This is a game to him. This is the same shit for, like, serial killers like BTK and shit, where they're literally just like, let's keep these guys on. Whoa, I caught you $1. Oh, we got to be quicker than that. I'm going to go get more kids. Bro, I hate it. Why do people like this exist?
Where he was actually from. And given just how vast his travels were, at this point, it was realized that Mr. Swirl could be anywhere. A moving target, so to speak. And an active one as well. During the investigation, which would later be dubbed Operation Vico, in reference to Vietnam and Cambodia, which seemed to be the main sites of his abuse, investigators made a disturbing discovery. That Mr. Swirl's photographs were not exclusive to just that hard drive, as photo after photo began to appear on various online forums.
Yeah, no shit, dude. That's why he's doing this. He's putting them on these weird fucking pedo forums, trying to peddle this shit everywhere so more fucking degenerates like him can get off. When all those people shouldn't be on the internet at all, they should be dead. That's a crazy radical take from me, King Jeffy Coates. I think pedophiles are bad. Yeah, dude, we're getting edgy.
With all of them featuring that disturbed, swirling face. The images were shared across the web seemingly straight from the man himself, and were sent out to various predatory groups that were filled with individuals just as sick as he was. Within these groups, it was considered a badge of honor to show your body and face within the content you made, thus leading to the sender becoming well respected among his peers.
Bro was doing this shit so that this is like those fuckers that virtue signal on Twitter, except for with pedophilia, bro. What the fuck? What the fuck? We live in a weird old world. The internet made us crazy. Oh my god, dude. No, my viewers are dropping like fucking flies because I'm watching this shit, dude. I don't care. I am so fucking locked in right now that I need to know they caught this guy.
Which showed us two things. One, that this was likely the reason why Mr. Swirl inserted himself in these photos, as it had led to him becoming a beloved member of their twisted community, in turn granting him access to all the CP he could want. And two, that the images found on the hard drive did not account for his whole body of work, as in these chat rooms and forums, police would find far more photos featuring their suspect, raising the total from a few dozen to nearly 300.
Whoa.
By this point, Mr. Swirl had been untraceable. Authorities were essentially—
Bro, to give you a perspective of how much that is, that's like my entire catalog of YouTube videos, but that's just pictures of this guy diddling kids. And how the fuck, the fact that you're getting internet clout from making sure your body's in the picture, what the fuck type of, like, who wants clout from pedophiles, dude? That's like me wanting Vosh to talk about me. He's not, okay, let's be a little bit credible, or like give a little bit of a fucking branch to Vosh here. he hasn't messed with kids. He just fucking had lolly horse porn. So, I mean, I'm being a little bit disingenuous and hyperbolic and joking, but still, dude, I don't fucking care if I'm ever on Bosch's radar, because he's not somebody who interests me, and I think his takes are dog shit. And I think the lolly shit is really cringe. So, yeah, like, I don't fucking care if one of those people like me. So, wow, shocker, dude. I don't fucking care. Wow. But when it, like, the fact that there's people out there that are like, yes, dude, these other fucking creeps on this website, they think I'm the ultimate creep. Let's go, dude. I'm the best. Like, what the fuck?
Searching for a ghost, and though these new images must have felt like a gut punch at first, they would eventually prove to be integral to their investigation, as for the first time in their hunt, Mr. Swirl had made a key error.
Let's go. They're coming
Within
for you,
these
Mr. Swirl.
Mr. Swirl had forgotten to hide his IP address, in turn revealing the general area in which they had been sent, with the location being Vancouver, Canada.
Fucking Canada. This is why they're getting tariffed by Donald Trump. This is why the tariffs are in, because Canada let Mr. Swirl be active. Take that, liberals. You have Mr. Swirl. That's your guy. This is why we should build a wall. We should build the biggest wall from Canada, so no more Mr. Swirls exist. Canada will be the 51st state, so we can stop Mr. Swirl.
This break revealed the key detail that he had some sort of tie to Vancouver, and that he was likely a sex tourist, someone who travels to countries that have loose laws around their age of consent in order to be able to abuse children without any repercussions, with Mr. Swirl clearly doing the same thing, visiting multiple countries in Asia, making his material, coming home, and then sharing it with his friends.
This is what bothers me about anime, and it really, really is tough, because I like anime. I do like anime. I'm an anime fan. But you'll be watching something and sometimes it's like egregious and like they look young as fuck and you're like, come on, dude. And I'll just click off. I'll go to another show. If it's too fan servicey, I'll just fucking go to another show, because it's like the character in the show's like 16, bro, and I'm like, not comfortable. This makes me uncomfy. I'm moving on, dude. And it's like, yeah, I understand that it's just like drawings or whatever, but what you don't understand that in Japan, until like 2013 or 16 or something, like the age of consent was like 14 or some shit, and like peddling child CP was like okay, dude. It was okay until that time period, like 2013 to 2016, somewhere in there. You could peddle that shit. So when you watch some of these animes that are like really egregious with fan service and they're like really young and they look really young, like you have to understand that until recent world that we live in, they used to be steady watching some creepy shit. Like there is an anime called fuck, dude, I can't remember what it's called, but it's like Kinshu or something. It's about this swordsman who has like a sword that's like on the other side of the sword. So normal sword, right? You got your normal sword, the blade would be here. His blade's like right here, and it's like a decent show. But the dude was definitely arrested for having like endless hard drives, if you know what I mean. Bro was on that Epstein flight log type shit. And it sucks because the show's probably great. I haven't really watched it, but it's like wild because if he would have deleted that shit previous to the ban, he would have been steady okay. And that's what kind of creeps me out about like some of the Asian culture, is that this shit is kind of normalized over there. Now there are places like Japan that are moving away from it, but the idea that people don't have the understanding that this shit was like readily okay over in even Japan, which is the most westernized, for a very long time. And it puts like this stain on stuff like that you watch. And the fact that people are like going on sex tourism in Asian countries shows that there is a problem.
It certainly didn't solve the case,
wow,
but
right.
It was finally a step in the right direction. And unbeknownst to the team working on Operation Vico, they were quickly approaching an even bigger revelation. As authorities were working hard on pinning down Mr. Swirl's location, some members of the team held on hope that the images themselves could still be unscrambled, and upon digging a bit deeper, one member of the team would actually recognize the swirl as having come from a fairly standard editing program, which revealed something. The swirl effect wasn't like a typical sensor or blur. Those effects completely mask or even remove the pixels from the actual photograph, making them nearly impossible to decipher. But this effect did neither of those things, and instead it simply rearranged the pixels of the man's face into a swirling pattern, meaning that this image still contained all of its original pixels, and Mr. Swirl's face was somewhere in this picture. They just had to piece it together. And so, in what must have felt like a Hail Mary at the time, an investigator put one of the images into that very same editing software, then clicked that very same swirl.
Dude, this is so fucking stupid. This is so stupid that they, like, I'm hoping this was like a month into investigation that they realized that he used a fucking editing software to swirl his face. This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. How fucking retarded do you have to be like, oh, I just unswirl it? Like, I was thinking maybe he used something where it fucks it up, so that's why I didn't say anything earlier to, like, sustain from being that stupid. But the fact that these guys, there was probably, like, a giant team of people, and they're all fucking pondering. They figured out every fucking country this guy's been here, and one of them was like, why don't we just fucking try unswirling the picture? And they're like, oh, that's a good idea. What the fuck? This is so dumb.
Fact, and simply reversed it. Which in turn led to this. In an investigation that started all the way back in 2004, finally, Mr. Swirl's face was revealed with a single click a whole 3 years later.
3 years? It took them 3 fucking years to unswirl his face! Not one of these fucking idiots looked at the swirl and thought, you know, what fucking editing software has swirling in it? Maybe we should look into that. Maybe we should fucking look into how he swirled his face. It took him fucking 3 years to unswirl this cocksucker's face? You should have all, except for the guy who unswirled his face, all of you should have lost your jobs. You're obviously not good at investigating. First thing I would have said is, can you unswirl his face? Do you know what editing software he did to swirl his face? Have you tried all the editing softwares? No, but we're trying to find every country he's been in. Well, can we start with the editing software first? That seems like a dumb idea. We're not going to do that. Well, you're fired. Can you unswirl his face? Do you want to be fired? No, unswirl his fucking face. Wow, dude. Whoa. This is why they get paid the big money to investigate. We have fucking Dudley Do-Right over here. We had like a team of the Dudley fucking Do-Rights working on the fucking giant serial molester over here. And one guy from the IT department walks in. Have you tried to unswirl his face? What the fuck? 3 years? Jesus.
What the man looked like, but also that it was truly just one man behind the swirl.
Bro looks like the type of guy that would do this. Come on. Look how dweeby he looks. He's gross. He's so stereotypical, that guy, bro.
All they had to do was find him. Interpol first started their search by sending this man's image to every single police station the network had access to, asking if anyone across the world had a criminal in their database who might match this photo.
Well, at that time they would have been like, have you asked Jeeves how to... Do you remember Ask Jeeves? Before Google was like the main thing, it was like Ask fucking Jeeves. They're like, have you asked Jeeves how to unswirl a picture? For those of you who don't remember, before Google, there was this site you literally ask this guy, this fucking butler named Jeeves, the answer to a question, and he would bring up results, kind of like how Google does now, where it'll tell you the first result is the answer. Well, it used to be there was a site called Ask Jeeves that would tell you the answer. So you'd ask this fucking butler Jeeves what the answer was. So you could have literally asked that motherfucker, hey, Jeeves, real quick, just pondering on something real quick. Do you know how to unswirl a picture? And Jeeves would have been like, what's up, my dude? Listen here, mother trucker. You just use this right here to swirl a picture, and you can then unswirl it. You would have, fuck! Case correct. Case correct. We are the ultimate investigators, bro. Jesus. And people wonder why I don't want to give all power to the government. Like, it has nothing to do with, like, whenever I hear, like, ideas about, like, this is gonna get a little political, but, like, I hear ideas about communism stuff, and I'm like, dude, the government took fucking 3 years to unswirl a picture using fucking Microsoft Paint. Like, come on. These are the guys I'm gonna trust with my entire livelihood? Fuck you. No, they don't even know how to use Ask Jeeves, bro.
This attempt would fall flat, indicating that whoever this man was, he likely had no prior criminal record. Time was clearly of the essence, and they knew that with every waking moment, Mr. Swirl could be adding to his list of growing victims. And wanting to act fast, Interpol made a fairly unprecedented decision. They reached out to every single major news outlet across the world and asked them to show this man's face.
They're so proud of their work. They're so fucking proud of their work, bro. They're so proud of their work that they sent it to every news station. They're like, make sure you take his face swirled and then unswirl it. It took us 3 fucking years to do that. That's impressive. The people at home will think it's cool.
On their broadcast to help bring this predator to justice. Additionally, the images of Mr. Swirl's face were also plastered in all corners of the internet, and within just 1 day, the story was quite literally everywhere. What started as a small search for an anonymous man had become an international manhunt.
Oh my god, they literally put the swirl to unswirl image everywhere. And I know that it's trying to, like, identify him by these forums, but I feel like a part of them was like, yo, we're really proud of this shit. We figured out how to swirl and unswirl an image. Could you make sure to run that everywhere? We did a good job. We not only figured out everywhere he went, how many people he'd went with, where he was last week, in what country, but we just learned how to unswirl a picture, so we need every news site to figure that out or show that, because we're the big dog here.
Overnight, and within just hours, Mr. Swirl would be anonymous no more.
Our top news story this hour, the worldwide search for a suspected pedophile is concentrated in Thailand this morning. We now know the suspect is a Canadian. The CBC's Michael McAuliffe reports from Bangkok.
Build a northern wall. Canada has had Mr. Swirl at one time. We gotta build a wall.
This morning, Interpol announced they now believe they know who the man is. He's been identified as a Canadian, 32-year-old Christopher Paul Neal.
His name is Christopher Paul Neal. Not only did Neal's face and body match perfectly with Mr. Swirl, but he also had grown up just outside of Vancouver, where the IP was tracked to. And he had moved from country to country across Asia in recent years, countries like Cambodia, Vietnam, and Thailand. The resemblance was so undeniable that even one of his own family members came forward to help identify him. Christopher Neal was in fact Mr. Swirl, a discovery that came...
It's funny that his family members came forward. So Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber, imagine Trump bragging about the unswirl technology. A lot of stupid individuals. They're big dumb idiots. They're the dumbest. No low IQ individuals. And see, I walked into their offices. I said, "Have you unswirled the picture?" And they said, "Mr. Trump, no one's thought of that." Wow, they said you were the smartest man in this room. How could one unswirl the picture? They said. I said, "Do unswirl it. Just unswirl it. Just unswirl the picture." And they never knew. They never knew that somebody could come up with an idea that good. And I unswirled the picture. But like Ted Kaczynski's own family came out there. His brother's wife was like, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's Ted's letter," and he's like, "No, that's not. Oh, that's not Teddy." And then he looked at it, he's like, "Oh fuck, that's Ted's letter," and then he reported his brother.
With some disturbing revelations. As it turns out, Christopher Neal was actually working as a children's English teacher, a job he had held in each of the countries he was discovered to have abused young boys in, making it likely that he used this position of power to lure in children from his classes to eventually abuse them and share their photos online. Along with this, it was also revealed that he had used his relationships with young boys to help lure in other children for him to assault. As looking back on the story that started this video...
Bro, what was that? What was the guy in Oliver Twist? What was the fucking guy in Oliver Twist? The one who would lure the boys to get him to steal shit for him. What was that fucking guy's name? I don't know, but bro basically had the Oliver Twist of CP going. Jesus.
he had recruited a clueless child he knew to lure those two brothers back to his apartment. This discovery also shined a spotlight on his social media pages, and specifically his MySpace page, where he chillingly wrote,
"Fucking MySpace, bro! Jesus, dude, I forgot MySpace existed."
"Loving Asia, will I ever come back?" while in the midst of his abuse spree.
Of course he loves
one
Asia.
Of the most shocking revelations was that those images that he had posted during the investigation weren't actually posted to his computer. At some point in the early 2000s, Neil had stopped home for a brief vacation to visit his family, and while there, he decided to upload all of his CP to his
Bro was like, "I just got back from Cambodia with a hard drive full of good, and I'm going to distribute this all over the internet. I can't wait to get back to Canada. This is a Canada thing to do. I'm gonna do it in Canada." Jesus, bro.
Had friends, but rather than using his personal device or a public computer, he instead broke into his own brother's laptop and uploaded his content there. That way, the images would be tracked to his brother and not him, which explained why he never bothered to hide his IP address. The more they learned, the more disturbed the story.
Hey bro, can I borrow your laptop real quick? Why? I just need to check my MySpace. Don't you have a laptop? No. See, I poured water down it. What? Why would you pour water down it? Oh, I was drinking water and it poured down it. Oh, so you spilled water on it. No. I don't think you understand. The water hit the laptop. Okay, so I need your laptop. Okay. But you need to give it back in a week. I have way too much stuff to upload. What are you uploading? I mean, I have way too many emails to send. Can I get it back to you in a month? Sure, buddy. Jesus, it's the Hunter Biden. It's the first Hunter. It was the original Hunter Biden laptop. This is where Hunter Biden got the ideas. Jesus Christ, dude.
Where he became, as even at the time they discovered his identity, it was revealed that he had currently been working in South Korea as a teacher. But when the officers arrived to arrest the man, he was already long gone. Having certainly seen his face all over the news, Christopher made the decision to flee the country, being spotted in this image captured at an airport in Thailand, as he had flown to the country likely in an attempt to find refuge. Throughout the following days and weeks, his likeness would turn up time and time again in the country, indicating that he was somewhere in Thailand hiding out. And having cornered him in the region, it wouldn't take long for police to knock on the door of an abandoned house in the middle of nowhere, in which Christopher Neil happened to be hiding, bringing the multi-year search for Mr. Swirl to an end.
We got him, boys. We killed him like a dog. Abu Swirl Barakta. We killed him like a dog.
Following his arrest by Thai police, Neil will be charged for his assault on those 3 young boys from the internet cafe, as it was the only crime they could prove had taken place in their country, and with it carried a prison sentence of 5 years. Admittedly, the sentencing was light, but the plan was to have Neil turned over to Canadian authorities after he did his time in Thailand, where they would also prosecute.
5 years, bro? He better get like the death penalty. No, Canada doesn't have the death penalty, so he better spend life in fucking maple syrup in Canada.
Him all over again, with the hope being that they could do the same thing with countries like Cambodia and Vietnam, and essentially force him to live out his life in prison.
5 years, that's what I'm saying, bro. He needs to spend life in maple syrup in Canada, dude.
However, when the sentence was completed in 2012, and Christopher was deported back to Canada, the shocking decision was made to allow Christopher Neil to walk free.
Fuck you, Canada! This is why you're getting tariffed. I don't even agree with the tariffs, but this is why you're getting tariffed. We're gonna tariff you to existence. You let Mr. Swirl just chill at the fucking... Now you can run into... If you're in fucking wherever in Canada, if you're in Canucksland, you can go up there and you can accidentally bump into Mr. Swirl. No! No! Why? Why does Canada suck? I officially don't like Canada. What the fuck?
When Neil was detained in Canada, authorities let him walk under the condition that he would never own a device that connected to the internet again. as well as the agreement that he would stay away from parks, schools, and also register as a sex offender. I can't for the life of me understand why this decision was made.
Oh my god, dude, chat. Cause he's out there swirling. He's swirling so hard. He's out there swirling. Not near schools or yards. He's out there swirling. He can't take a 45. He's out there swirling. I just wish he would die. That's a song written by somebody else, and it has nothing to do with the situation that we're watching right now. If any officials are watching.
Rather, it seemed to center around the fact that his crimes were international, and that none of his other victims had actually come forward, meaning the other countries they had hoped would prosecute never actually bothered to pursue it.
But here's the thing, isn't it illegal to send this type of energy, or to put these type of images on display on the internet? Why can't you, like, fucking book him for that?
And because his crimes didn't happen on Canadian soil, not much could really be done.
What about the posting the shit on his brother's laptop? That was done on Canadian soil?
Legally speaking. And so in the end, the hunt for Mr. Swirl ended up lasting almost as long as the sentence he served. And even after everything this man did, he was let loose and allowed to assimilate back into society. But this isn't where our story ends. Not even a full year later in 2013, it would be uncovered that Christopher Neal had somehow managed to purchase a computer and also connect it to the internet, a clear violation of his conditions. And though he claimed it was just for writing a book about his life experiences, when investigators seized the device, they would, unsurprisingly, find even more CP.
Wow.
25 images.
What a fucking shocker. He went and found a computer and downloaded, images of the pornographic nature. Wow, dude. No one could have ever seen this coming. I am so befuddled and baffled at the circumstances that have been fallen on us in this situation. Whoa.
To be exact, including two with his signature swirling face. As it turns out, Christopher had been using the device to contact his fellow pedophile friends, where he would even message one of his disturbed friends right after his release, saying, "The swirl liveth still," proving without a shadow of a doubt that he was remorseless about his crimes and took pride in his new nickname. And somehow the discovery got even worse from there, as it was revealed that a friend of his had shown him how to access the deep web and how to share these photographs in practically an untraceable way, thus allowing him to continue being active in these predatory groups no matter what restrictions were placed on him. After Canadian police made this discovery, Christopher would yet again be arrested, and this time they had the chance to really send a message and put him away forever, as clearly letting him walk away the first time was a mistake, as he wasn't reformed.
Yeah, no shit. No shit, it was a mistake. I hope that the swirl quit liveth. Yeah, dude. Dude, no shit. God damn it, dude. Canada, what the fuck are you doing up there, buddy?
Even in the slightest. And so, to make up for this, the judge would give Christopher Neal the whopping sentence of just 5.5 years, with time served, meaning that he would only end up in jail for a little over 14 months. The prosecution praised the sentence as a win, and Christopher vowed to change his ways, but it just doesn't sit right that as of 2016, Mr. Swirl, the man responsible for dozens and dozens of instances of extreme child abuse, which by the way are just the ones that we know of, is a free man, now living a normal life in Vancouver. And worst of all, he now has access to share this material through untraceable avenues, meaning that there is a good chance that he could still be out there obtaining, sharing, and who knows, maybe even producing his content. The case of Mr. Swirl is such a frustrating one. For once, a case of this nature gained worldwide attention.
Dude, this guy gets worldwide attention for doing the most abhorrent thing of all fucking time. And he's just chilling, bro. He is out on the streets right now because Canada was like, we'll give him 5 years, time served. And it's like, oh, so how long is that going to be? 14 months. Like, this guy's fucking walking among people.
And was pursued by the full extent of the law, with the folks over at Interpol doing a fantastic job with the case, only for it all to be deflated once he was finally captured. And just knowing that he's out there living a normal life after all this after all the lives that he's forever affected.
Big fucking L, Canada. Big fucking L.
Makes this one of the most disheartening cases we've covered to date.
Are you curious what happened to him?
No, because I can hear
Oh, you could hear me?
Oh,
Dude got fucking 14 months of jail. You know what he should have gotten?
His balls cut off.
No, dude, his genitals should have been blown up. They should have hit him with some nitroglycerin shot right into the testes, bro, and they should have exploded, and he should have bled out. In Minecraft, or whatever. Fucking... I hate that. I hate this, dude. I hate this, dude. Dude, he's just in Vancouver. You're right. He's chilling in Vancouver, filling up every hard drive they have in Vancouver, dude. He's got like a 40 billion terabyte hard drive of fucking awful material. Jesus Christ, dude. What is my life? What the fuck is this, dude? What the fuck? Canada? Oh, Canada has Mr. Swirl. Did they prosecute him? Well, kind of. He got 14 months. Dear God, dude. Well, that's that. Let's go to something a little lighthearted, all right? Let's go to some fucking... I almost fucking died. Anyways, back to me not choking on 80 penises. This is another video by my boy, The Masked Man. The Masked Man. I like this guy's content. I find him engaging. I find him interesting. This is the most vile protagonist ever in manga. Now, there is literally a manga called Dog Beep. Can't say it on YouTube. Look it up. Look it up. I have a video on it. I think it's called What's His Name or something. It has a dog on the cover. That is wild, and that's not the most vile. The whole point of that manga, by the way, the one I'm talking about, the one I'm like hitting you with right now, is that his whole goal is to like abuse his father in a sexual nature. So there's a big bar to jump up to beat that. So we're gonna see what manga is so degenerate. When there's shit out there that is degenerate, we're gonna find out what the most degenerate protagonist in manga ever is. I'm excited. Are you guys excited? I want to see some King Jiffy Code suck small wieners in the chat. Oh, I gotta turn the volume on. This is why I suck small wieners.
Taking place around the 80s and 90s, Japan's lost generation, Shinjuku Kabuki-cho Sin Central, a red light district where the Yakuza run rampant and indulge themselves in all the worldly pleasures they can. Murder is the bare minimum. In the middle of this cesspool is the Yakuza mansion. This mansion contains the worst of the worst, including a sadomasochist Yakuza, who indulges in some of the most stomach-churning forms of mutilation and torture, and a necrophiliac that's a heroin addict. Yet the most deadly character, and arguably the most perverse, is the main character himself. This guy, Hajime Shideyoshi, also known as Ichi. But how could this mild-mannered man be the most vile protagonist in manga? Deciding who I thought was the most vile protagonist in manga boiled down to two choices, Ryu from Shamo and Ichi from, well, Ichi the Killer. It had been a few years since I read this, but after a refresher the choice became obvious. Ichi is a far more complicated character than I gave credit for when I originally read it, but it can easily get lost in the sheer absurd violence this story shows. Four men in a van discuss a condo known as Yakuza Mansion, and what their current hit job and the future hit job entails. One of the men is excited to use his new gun, but is reprimanded since that will make too much noise. They're there for just cleanup, the old man says. Ichi is in charge of taking care of the target. At that moment, the old man receives a call, and when he picks up, there is crying on the other end. Ichi, the old man asks. Ichi responds that it's finished, but is still crying. The old man is surprised that Ichi is crying again, and tells him it will be okay, and to meet him at the usual place. He then hangs up the phone and tells the crew it's time to clean up. Ichi steps out of the phone booth, and a kid covering his forehead asks Ichi why he's crying. He is a grown man, and that he saw him crying since he left the condo he lives at. Ichi is then reminded
Bro, could you imagine you're fucking big tears, you're big tearing, you're crying, you're having a weak moment as a man, and some kid walks up, he's like, why are you crying, bitch? But why are you crying? You're a grown-up. Stop being a bitch. You know that your manlyhood is just like hit a fucking, like, bottom. You've bottomed out. If you're crying in public and some kid has to tell you to stop being a little pussy, that's how you know you fucked up. That's how you know that your life has hit the train tracks of fucking sadness and pathetic world.
Of his order to kill everyone who sees his face. Quickly, he wipes the tears from his face and smiles, and the kid runs away. This will be important later. Going back to the crew, now at the scene of the murders. The scene of Ichi's killings is messy as usual. The man has his head smashed inwards, and the woman had her artery vein smashed inward. As they clean the mess, one of them finds a white substance on the floor. But they aren't surprised.
No.
This is just another confirmation that Ichi was indeed the one behind this. 3 of the men then go to dispose.
Oh no! Dude kills people and then he stops for a quick fucking rub and tug, bro. He sprayed ropes over the dead bodies. What? What, dude? No.
The bodies, and one of them takes advantage of the woman's corpse before burying it while the
Jesus, what is this, dude? And this is what people... Okay, so here's the thing. I was saying in the last thing I did, right? Whenever I upload this, re-upload this, you might be like, oh, last thing. But last time I covered some of this sick was Mr. Swirl, right? Which on the stream was the last thing I covered. But Jesus, dude. I went out of my way to mention how in Japan there was some sick things going on in Japan for a long time before they outlawed them. This is example. This is Reputation 1. They're like, oh, but it's high art, dude. No, it's not high art. If you're reading something literally about like gooning to fucking dead bodies, I make jokes about shit like that because I am a sane individual who doesn't fucking murder people and then come on their dead bodies. I think it, like, making that joke as a person that's pretty fucking normal, all things considered, is like, haha, look at that, I made a joke about coming with dead bodies. It's like, what's the sexiest job in the world? The morgue, because they can't say no. That's like a horrible joke, right? It's fucking abhorrent. That shouldn't be said. But at the same time, it's a little funny because, like, it's so gross and so out of the realm of, like, reality that it's like kind of a Norm Macdonald bit at that point. Or like more Bob Saget joke, right? But this is just like, oh, what if we had a story and the main protagonist was just a gooner, but a gooner that liked to kill people, then goon, and then cry. He's a big sad boy that comes on dead bodies. Jesus!
The old man goes to meet up with Ichi. This might be a good time to say that this video is for educational and entertainment purposes. I don't know, I feel like you can do anything on this platform after saying that. There are a good amount of scenes.
Yeah, dude, this video is educational and entertainment. Am I entertaining? Do you think I'm entertaining? It's the eyebrows, right? I got them Brett Cooper eyebrows.
That delve into this past of Ichi and who he really is. But some of the most important are the conversations between Ichi and the old man, who is revealed to be his uncle. Ichi is seen with a sad expression on his face, and the uncle asks what's the matter. I killed people again. That again, Ichi? It's bad, right? It's alright, don't think about it, okay? Until now, you were always being bullied. To take revenge against those bullied and those who watch silently. If you don't, who's going to? You work so hard for that purpose, for the sake of getting stronger, right?
Dude, the uncle's like, yeah, you kill people. Yeah, if I can kill people, it's not that big of a deal. Remember when that kid shoved you down and called you a loser, Ichi? Remember that? Remember when he was like, you're a big loser, Ichi, and he shoved you down? That means you can kill and come on all the dead bodies you want to. Honestly, I'll clean up your messes, bro. I remember when that kid took your Snickers and then slapped you in the face and called you weird eyebrow douchebag, and you said you look way too much like a normal anime protagonist, and you were real sad about that. I remember you came home and cried. And now I think that means that you can kill as many people as you want and come in the room. To be honest, that's just makes sense to me, bro.
Today, the one you killed was a person who made money bullying the weak. His eyes looked like Kazo-kun's. Kazo? Come on, from my first year in junior high school, I told you about it before. Ah, the guy who drew whiskers on your face and forced you to dance, right? The man I killed today looked like him. Bang, and I became unable to control my feelings. Right, Ichi, tell me how you did it. How about showing it to me? Okay. Kazo-kun was looking at
Look how excited he was. He's like, oh, I can just go show you the dead body I created? Let's go, dude. We're off to see a body. It's gonna be very nice. I'm gonna come in ropes, and it won't be just once or twice. It's gonna be multiple, and I'm gonna keep going until I'm shooting blanks. The world is gonna know it. Jesus.
Like he was looking at trash. So you see, Ichi throws a bunch of kicks lightning fast. The uncle looks at Ichi's face, which starts to get excited. Ichi does a reverse spinning kick and stops millimeters away from his uncle's face. I did it just like this. The uncle looks forward and sees that Ichi is turned on by recounting the murder. Later, he gives Ichi a cut of his money. This much? Come on, you deserve it. Thank you. How long will it take you to reach your home? At this hour? I think I'll arrive in 10 hours. 10 hours? Why are you so stingy about the train fare? Next time use the train. It's not like that. Bicycling is perfect for strengthening my legs. Ichi, you still want to be stronger? Yep. There are a few things we can gather from this scene. Ichi's not motivated by money at all. Later confirmed by him taking the money and putting it in a heavy bag where he practices more kicks. His motivation stems from his childhood trauma of being picked on and abused, but how messed up this leaves him will be more explored later on. What makes Ichi a fascinating character is his ability to feel sorrow and guilt to a certain degree for the actions he commits. Unlike many of the Yakuza that live in the area that feel nothing or even worse, feel grand satisfaction, Ichi is defined by bursting into tears, and even after realizing what he has done. But he also, at certain moments through the killings, derives great sexual pleasure as well. He really comes across as two completely different characters, depending on who and, well, when you see him, going from a gentle, well-mannered individual to an emotionally unstable killer whenever he taps into the state of mind, back to when he was being bullied. Ichi, I do believe, with proper therapy and the right guidance, goes on to own a dojo or be one hell of a kickboxer. But what brings Ichi to this line of work and keeps him there, giving into his sadistic side, is the relationship he has with his supposed uncle. We actually have no idea what the old man's real name is. The members of his crew call him Gigi, and Ichi calls him Uncle, but it becomes very clear as the story goes on that he is a master of disguise, a manipulative individual that cares little for the life of his crew and only cares about getting the job done. He has no...
Jesus, bro. What the fuck? What the fuck?
Real family attachment to Ichi. Simply uses that as a way to get Ichi into the mind frame he needs for Ichi to be in, dismissing any feelings of guilt he might have and manipulating Ichi into seeing the people he murders as bullies who deserve punishment. It doesn't benefit him for Ichi to grow up in any way, but to keep Ichi in a childish frame of mind and see these Yakuza like his childhood bullies. Ichi is also unique given his method of killing, using his well-trained kicks and shoes that have metal plating, the left one with an axe on the heel, capable of doing inhumane levels of violence with. There is a prequel manga delving into Ichi's past. It is only 11 chapters, so it's not a major waste of time. But admittedly, it felt like an extra side story of Ichi before he completely went off the deep end, instead of an interesting look at his psyche.
3 of your ex-boyfriends died.
I mean, what is the psyche of I like murdering people and then gooning? Like, there was never enough fucking explanation to make this all okay. Oh, the dude manipulates him, tells him it's okay. He's still fucking gooning at the scene, bro. Why?
Delving a bit more into Ichi's psyche, it is very clear there are two states Ichi resides in more you read the story. There isn't an official diagnosis since my brain is as slow as a Galapagos tortoise, so I did not go to school for this, but I believe Ichi shows sign of dissociative identity disorder, given his traumatic past that left him marked and unable to grow, the old man's manipulation, which raises the question of how much blame can be placed on Ichi himself, and what led me to this in the first place. The stark contrast of who he is when relaxed and interacting with people in normal settings versus his state of being when being threatened. A state that happens when he's reminded of said...
Bro, he's walking into the store, he's like, oh, I'm a chill guy. I'm gonna just go kill people and come in the room later. Oh boy, isn't this fun? I like killing people and then coming on their faces. I'm gonna go get some fucking rice balls or some shit.
Said traumatic experiences. When sparring at his gym, he wears a white belt, feeling unworthy of putting on a black belt. And when a cocky newcomer looks at him like his past bully, the switch flips and you can see it on Ichi's face, grazing his head with a kick that opens his skull, fully erect while doing so. He then snaps out of it, apologizing a bunch and seeming extremely remorseful. Still excited, he runs off to a brothel, and a prostitute servicing him is covered in bruises by her abusive partner. This only excites Ichi more, confirming his sadistic streak. The pain of others brings him immense pleasure.
Bro. No! 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 Kill this guy. He's a bad guy. Yeah, dude, this video is living up to the name. No clickbait here. This is fucking a wild individual.
And he cannot get excited without it. I do think this aspect of Ichi is an exaggeration of the dark desires every person has.
Let's skip there. Let's just...
His father, having a confrontation with another Yakuza who recognizes...
I'm starting to think this Ichi guy is a real jerk. Well, one say he's pretty much the worst, actually. Oh, wait. you're like a bad guy.
Him, referring to Kakihara as the Maso Yakuza, presents the person that will serve as the opposition. The son of the person Ichi killed at the beginning of the manga, member of the Anju family Kakihara. He is hell-bent on finding out who is responsible for the murder of his father, having a confrontation with another Yakuza who recognizes him, referring to Kakihara as the Maso Yakuza, mocking him while speaking of the infamy of his love for pain and torture, ripping off the 2 piercings on the side of Kakihara's mouth. I want to know if that felt good. No way, it felt great. Kakihara then shoves a long needle through the side of the man's mouth, his signature weapon, and reprimands him for having no love in his violence. More importantly, there's no beauty in it.
I'm not gonna lie, so I'm gonna move my face right here. This art right here kind of goes hard, way harder than the rest of the shit goes. I have to say, like, the art for the most part has been pretty mid, and this is just like egregiously disgusting for no reason. This is like absolutely abhorrent shit, but that guy looks cool as fuck. That looks like somebody out of like a fucking John Wick movie, bro.
He then sits down as the man is taken to a hospital and speaks to a woman that he seems close with. He looks across and sees the old man and his crew drinking and asks who they are. She informs him that they are a group of individuals with no crest. In other words, they were excommunicated from their groups and have banded together, doing all kinds of dirty work, and she brings up murder. A skirmish almost occurs when he confronts them, but the old man plays it off that they just sell drugs. Kakihara tells him their leader is missing, and if he has any information, let him know. It turns out all of this was planned by the old man also, and it wasn't just the leader of the Anju family that he killed, but he took the money that was in the safe, a total of 296 million yen, which would be approximately 1.8 million USD, and that money will be divided amongst the group. The old man, however, is planning on causing more mayhem within the mansion, instead of leaving with more targets for Ichi to take care of. The crew learns Inoue, the necrophiliac, was a member of one of the key groups, and had plastic surgery done to sneak into the mansion. Clearly, the old man has something huge planned. The rest of the manga is this game of cat and mouse between Ichi and Kakihara, with the old man pulling all of the strings. Kakihara is shown more and more to be a complete sadomasochist, with the desire to feel pain and witness violence in its purest form with no restraints, with beauty. When he does feel immense pain, he enters a catatonic state where he becomes cartoon-like, with his ability to recover.
This isn't hentai. Not hentai. This is, Ichi the Killer. It's called Ichi the Killer. We just found out about your country's biggest gooner snail, Mr. Swirl. We found out about Mr. Swirl not that long ago, and what the fuck?
Immediately from anything inflicted upon him and retaliate. No matter what monsters appear in this story, it seems clear that the two at the very top are Ichi and Kakihara.
Dude, here's the thing, dude. It has the premise, it has like this decent premise for a good mafia cat and mouse game, but the writer was just like, yeah, I had this really good idea, right? I got this idea, I've been thinking on it for a while, dude. What if here's the thing, what if I do this cat and mouse where it's like these bad people, and what about if they mesh up, right? And they mesh up and they're bad people, then they're doing this cat and mouse game, they're like, oh, that's a cool idea for the story. Yeah, I like that. And then the main protagonist is gonna be a guy who kills people and then comes on them. What? Wait, what? Why would that be a thing? No, you're missing the point. You're missing the point. You're missing the point here. So there's a cat and mouse game in the mafia, right? And then there's this other guy who kills people to death with his legs and then comes on them in ropes and then cries about it. Why does he cry though? But why does he cry? Because like he has like these emotions because he was bullied. Oh, like he was like somebody like did something bad to him to make him this way. Yeah, they like hit him once. They like punched him and stuff. And so now he kills people and then comes on them. But what about the cat and mouse? That's important, but the main focus is that. And he's the bad guy? No, he's the good guy. The good guy. Well, who's the bad guy? Just some guy that likes, that gets, like, really hard when people punch him in the face. So he's like a mascot? Yeah, but the other guy, the main character, he gets hard when he punches people in the face. I don't like this story. No, it's gonna sell like crazy, bro. You're really not you're not seeing the bigger picture. This is art. Oh, man.
For educational purposes, I will list. So first with boiling water than he and
Hold on.
appear in this story, it seems clear that the two at the very top are Ichi and Kakihara. Kakihara does some insane stuff, which for educational purposes I will list. So first he with boiling water, then he and finally, you got all that? Ichi meanwhile is seen waking up every day from nightmares of his past, bursting into tears, and when he visits the abused woman at the brothel and she expresses how she's tired of the abuse, wishing she could kill the man doing it to her. Little does she know, she's speaking to an expert in such a thing. Ichi swears he will help her and kill the man for her. And this is where I thought we would get some redemption for Ichi's character. A chance for him to show his noble qualities.
No, he's gonna kill the guy and then come on him and then kill the girl probably because he's a fucking psychopath.
He does have some basic human ones. He just doesn't go around killing everybody he runs into. But when he follows the woman to her home, she proceeds to be abused in every possible way. And Ichi watches and pleasures himself before running away, only to return the next day and kill them both. Ichi is seen after.
Dude, I fucking called it! I didn't pre-watch this, dude! I didn't pre-watch this! Oh my god, I fucking said what he was gonna do! I fucking said what he was going to do! Oh, I mean, I missed the part where he watches her get beat and then he wank and janks it to the ground, you know? But I did call that he was gonna kill both of them! Let's go! Oh my god, what the fuck? He's like, I'm not wearing hockey pads. Oh, I'm not wearing hockey pads. I'll murder you if you ask me for your help. And I'll come while doing it.
Burning the home down and snapping out of a dazed state, now remembering where the blood came from. Kakihara is tracking down the old man and his crew, realizing he had been deceived into setting off a war between groups, and kills the members of the old man's group one by one. Of course, with some form of torture being done beforehand in order to get information, but I also believe to mainly satiate Kakihara's perverted needs. Dr. Stone's Anatomy of Evil has a scale for different types of murders a person can commit. Category 1, containing killing in self-defense or justified homicide. Considering some of the people Ichi is dealing with, this could be used at first, until the context that he is the hitman going after these people is included.
There's a movie on this? They made a fucking movie on this? What the fuck? Why? Why did somebody see this? They're like, yeah, it's gotta be a movie. Like, how do they even make this without this shit just, like, being banned in every country? This is, like, the bottom of a Wendigo iceberg type level demented. This shit would be, like, the most fucking abhorrent movie of all time. Like, how would they even make this happen?
As the categories go up, you can see impulse murders, which if Ichi did one of these out of a moment of anger with no pleasure involved, then he might fall under this. Both Kakihara and Ichi fall under the final section of the scale, however, reserved for serial killers, torturers, and sadists. Category 22.
So I've actually wanted to watch The Fable for a long time, but here's the thing: I won't watch an anime that I'm not fully invested in already in sub. I won't start an anime in sub. I just won't do it. Now I will watch an anime, right? If I've been watching it in dub and then I'm like really invested into it, like let's say Shangri-La Frontier or Solo Leveling, One Piece, these ones, right? I will get to a far enough part that I've already watched all of the dub and I'm invested and I need to see what's next. Then I'll start watching the fucking subtitled. And I've done this with a few. I've done it with Blue Lock. I've done it with, like I said, Solo Leveling, Shangri-La Frontier, and One Piece. But those are about the extent of the ones I do it with. And it's very rare. Usually I'll just wait until it gets dubbed. But every once in a while I'll get so invested that I'll have to watch it. But, no, they have a show called The Fable. They have a show on Hulu called The Fable. The Fable anime. Right there. They made an anime on it. It's on Hulu. I actually made a couple of detailed panels of a Batman comic centered around Batman striking a thug in an alley during the middle of an essay. I mean, that's a good like that's like cool. I wish like they would do more edgy shit like that, because like here's the thing: you can broach really dark topics and have people like have like a character that's kind of a bad character but has a good heart but has bad situations, and then they deal with like bad situations around them, I think that it makes for really, really good content. But if everybody involved is just a piece of shit and there's nothing really to root for, it's like I still highly recommend the manga instead. I haven't even finished Berserk yet, dude. I need to finish Berserk. That's the only manga I've ever like started. And then maybe I will get to the other one. But I'm honestly curious about the manga. I wonder if it's been dubbed. I wonder if there's a dub. Hulu. It's Disney Plus to release. Is it dubbed? Here we go. This is 8 months ago. Not seeing any announcements either right now. Thanks for replying. I'm sure, but yeah, dude, I don't have a lot of information on it. So yeah, no, it sucks. I wanted to see this too. It looks really interesting. But I'm reading Berserk right now, sort of, whenever I get time. I never have fucking time because I'm always on the fucking internet or working or spending time with my family that I love to death. But yeah, I mean, watch the dub, but I'm just afraid certain things won't translate or they'll shit it up like localizers tend to do. No, that's understandable. And here's the thing about localization too that sucks is you go through, like whatever we're seeing in, like whatever we're reading or seeing has already been localized once. So when it's dubbed, it's been localized twice, which kind of sucks.
Psychopathic torture murders with torture as the primary motive. The motive need not always be sexual would fit Kakihara. Category 17, sexually perverse serial killers. Killing is to hide the evidence, no torture. I think fits Ichi the best, but when his clearly unstable mental state is taken into consideration, I'm not so sure. Then I think half of him, technically, fits under this category. I do not think it's something that absolves him of his actions, neither does the existence of people just as bad or worse being the majority of his victims, since the scale is made with the purpose of determining if a person can be rehabilitated and let back into society. For multiple scenes in Ichi, we see it doesn't have to be a murderous Yakuza. It could be anyone that makes him feel threatened, that will cause him to give into his sadistic and killing self. At the age of 22, he has been formed to be this way by the use of the old man far too much, and I don't think there is going back. Well, at first. The scene where he and his uncle speak again, he talks about a nightmare he had, where a girl in his class was being taken advantage of by multiple bullies, and Ichi expresses that instead of helping her, he believes she wanted him to be doing it to her instead. His nightmare sealed off the memories of the prostitute and the man he had murdered the day before. Incapable of confronting them, he snaps into a childlike murderous state and smashes the table when the uncle gets closer to pushing him to remember. The rest of the series is this cat and mouse game, being controlled by the old man, with Kakihara being more excited to meet Ichi, believing he will be the one to bring him to ecstasy the more he witnesses the murders he commits. The bodies simply pile up for Ichi, and at any moment he might grow tired of doing such things. He is brought back in by the old man, until ultimately, Kakihara and Ichi clash, with Kakihara running away when he realizes his life is truly in danger, and the job is finished. It is then revealed that the lady working with Kakihara was actually working for the old man, feeding him the information the old man wanted him to know, and by killing off each member of his crew, the amount of money that needs to be divided is less and less. Also having her called Ichi to grow his perverse desire to inflict pain. But then he has Ichi go kill her as well.
It's 9:15, huh?
Yo, I'm just like surprised that this got made, bro. It's just so wild. This is such a wild fucking rabbit hole to go down, dude. This is just crazy.
3 years pass and the old man receives a call. So what happened to Ichi-kun? He's finished, he can't be used anymore. Why? He's an incredible killing machine, right? Killing machine, you say. He can get lost in his imagination within a very short interval. That was his incredibility. Imagination. Exactly. Applying his imagination to reality.
Well, is this like so is the movie like animated or is it live action? I'm very curious about that. Snail, you'll have to let me know.
In order to murder, he really is a monster. You said imagination. But it's just his past memories, right? That's the point. Real past events make up about 60%. and the remaining 40% is planted purposefully, with fitting imagination. Wow, that's crazy. That means his imagination is mixed with reality to create stories. That's right. That blend is the most important thing. And how did Ichi-kun become useless in the end? He became useless from staying in Shinjuku for a year. Just by staying? Yes. Imagination in the end is just a ball of desire. The essence of the imagination, desire, was too omnipresent in the city. I see. You mean the city of Shinjuku has so many...
Live action, it's got a cult following? Huh. That's weird, dude. Maybe I'll have to look it up. Just like, I'll see if maybe there's a dub of it and maybe I'll watch it. Because, like, I'm not wildly entertained by this, to be honest. So I might even not look up the movie. But, like, for me, this would be like... I mean, if you were going to make a movie on it, I think that you would have to, like, film it in a way like Seven or Natural Born Killers. I mean, even Natural Born Killers kind of becomes kind of a... Natural Born Killers gets away with doing a lot of the shit that is done in this type of media because it doesn't take it's so over the top. Oliver Stone's the fuck out of that movie so hard that you kind of just are along for the ride and you're just watching these degenerates be degenerates. Now this, I don't think there's any sympathetic characters. It's just like everybody's so abhorrent and awful that you're kind of in this weird fucking edgy... It's like that game, Hatred. It's probably like that game, Hatred, right? Where it's just there to be as fucking awful as possible.
Waves of desire that even the imagination has no place to rest. Absolutely. Ichi's imagination was devoured by Shinjuku's reality, and he became a common human being. It's a terrifying place here. The old man then says he has a new killing machine though. It seems the little boy that Ichi met at the phone booth grew up. He accidentally pisses off some thugs, and when one of them goes to attack him, he makes a face just like Ichi's. Ichi the Killer as a manga is one of the most violent, disgusting, perverse reads in the medium, displaying evil in many different forms, but with a core theme in mind: violence. It comes from places deep within brought out by external influences. While it could be seen as glorifying, and it is, by the end, Kakihara runs in desperation when his life is actually put at risk. And Ichi, the main character of our story, isn't some badass John Wick type of character. He is an unstable man-child that snaps into murderous fits and is incapable of confronting reality. There are moments where one does feel bad for Ichi, and wonder where he could have gone differently. The story says he became a normal man.
Dude, if I could turn it into a comedy with Adam Sandler, bro, it's just like... You want me to come on your body? I'll come on your body. I'll come on your body. Jesus, he's like... And it's like, the other guy's played by, is Rob Schneider. Rob Schneider's the guy with the cuts, and he's like, the globalists are trying to get us. I'm Rob Schneider. It's a cat and mouse game with these two sadistic fucks, but it's just Adam Sandler and Rob Schneider. The uncle's played by, like, fucking, Nick Nolte. Listen, Tommy, when you walked in here, you had 3 pill bottles. You came on people the right way. Did you come on the bodies, Inichi?
Never see this, or know if he's actually alive, or if the old man didn't have him killed also. What we did see from Ichi was a ruthless, brutal killer, even if he was doing it with tears on his face.
Oh my god, dude. What a fucking watch, dude. Alright, we got one. Let's keep the ball rolling with fucking weird shit, right? Is that Nick Nolte? I mean, they're the same, dude. When you walked into this bar, you had 3 clicks, Tommy. That's 3 pill bottles. You don't understand what went on in that war. You know, like, dude, Nick Nolte sounds like that now. Now, Nick Nolte used to kind of sound like this, you know, and then even before that, he kind of had a higher pitch voice. But now Nick Nolte kind of has an RFK Jr. thing going. What do we got next here? The World of Disgusting. What time is it? All right, we got one more. We'll do one more because you guys have been such a good chat. This is my biggest stream I've ever done. I got Snail in here. He's partially this But this story waxes the philosophical a lot. In manga, many of the best violent stories are using violence as vehicles to drive the discourse. Yeah, and I think Berserk does that really, really well. When I look at Berserk, right? Now, when I look at Berserk, every single fucking panel in Berserk, right, has importance. And what I've been reading so far, everything has importance. Everything's driving in the direction that it's needed. It is perfectly needed. Even the scene where she gets attacked by Griffith. And you know what scene I'm talking about. It is so important to drive the point home of why Guts is so broken. Now, something like this, it's like you're just being terrible, and I don't feel like you're highlighting the points, especially when it like ends with the dude running away. Like, is it what when you get in relative correlation with actual monsters that you break tail and run? Now, I haven't read it. I haven't watched any media other than this video on it, but it just seems like it's a really... The dude was like, how far can I push this story and make you still sometimes sympathize with the main character? I think he wanted to push the bounds, which I'm completely... I understand that people do this. It happens in every media. This isn't just a manga anime problem. I think pushing the bounds can be a good thing, but it also can be like... that doesn't mean I want to go out and watch it, right? It's not like I'm not going to go watch the Serbian film because I know it's abhorrently horrible. There's like I'm like, oh, I'm going to watch Saw. Oh, I watched Hostel. I'm good. It's getting a little too far for me now. You know what I mean? There's a point where you're like, okay, there is nothing to root for, and then you just kind of get in this nihilistic mentality. And I think if you use the horrible nature of something to then bring a more poetic, like, justice out of it, not justice out of it, but bring something like narratively powerful to it that makes the violence almost feel important, necessary, where you can't look at it and be like, well, yeah, it sucks, but it's like, violent criminals. Well, yeah, he's pushing the envelope of what audiences are willing to sympathize with. Or can violent criminals really be rehabilitated? Those are questions to have, but I think that there's better ways than what he did to show that. I mean, you take things like, what's a good example? God, I had the example on the tip of my dick, bro. But I just think that there's been better examples of somebody that's abhorrent like that. You know what's a great example? And it's not on the same level, but you take something like Eastbound and Down, right? I know this is much different. But somebody who's a complete fucking piece of shit, like in Eastbound and Down, and you're like, holy shit, this guy's a piece of shit, but you're still rooting for him for some reason. Even though he's the worst person possible, you are rooting for him. I just feel like this doesn't have enough depth. By the end of it, you're just seeing that, like, violence begets violence. And then the kid didn't even see this guy kill anybody. He just saw him cry. So how did he become the next fucking great thing? Like, maybe there's some more depth in it, but it doesn't seem like it's the longest manga. So you're looking at, like, just so weird. There's this movie that I think did that idea of, like, assassins and rehabilitation well, and it's like it's like Seven Psychopaths. Seven Psychopaths really dives into, like, the idea of, like, a crazy person in the Sam Rockwell character, how he's been this fucking abhorrent. Everybody in, like, Seven Psychopaths is pretty fucking awful, but by the time you get down to the end, you're just intrigued. And it's like, did the violence pay off for any of these people? No, it didn't. They're all in a worse situation because of it. And even the people that are good are pieces of shit, like the Colin Farrell character. He's a piece of shit. Everybody in Seven Psychopaths is an absolute piece of shit. But it creates this grand experience that now you have more questions to be asked. But I also think Seven Psychopaths didn't push the envelope as far as something like this. Now, I know there's better examples. They're just not coming to me off the top of my head. But we have one more video left in me. I got one video left in me. And I saw this on my recommended. This is something we seem to be going down the hill of degeneracy, right? And I saw this, Dead Meat, the film that's illegal to watch. I am so fucking curious what this is. I am, like, just the name, Dead Meat, the film that's illegal to watch. That makes you want to click on this, dude. That shows me how to make, I just see this as like, that is glorious. I mean, that is a glorious title. I mean, already I'm interested at what's going on here. I'm so curious. I'm so curious. We're going to dive into it right now.
I've been a Kickstarter lurker for a long time, and one of the coolest projects I've ever seen is when the creator of Billy and Mandy pitched an R-rated puppet film that's currently illegal and would end careers if it was ever released. And in case you don't know anything about it, this is the story of Dead Meat. Dead Meat was the passion project of Maxwell Adams, the creator of the grim adventures of Billy and Mandy. If you're on the younger side of millennials or the older side...
I remember, okay, so I know I'm pausing really early on and people hate that, but I remember Billy and Mandy being like really dumb, but also one of the most sadistic shows I've ever seen, and I would watch it just because of how twisted it was. I didn't enjoy the characters that much in Billy and Mandy. It was everything else that was going on, the art style. There was so much about Billy and Mandy that I enjoyed without actually enjoying the show. I had this weird, like, opposing nature decisions about Billy and Mandy that to this day I still don't understand what I watched when I watched this show.
Side of Gen Z, then you don't even need me to tell you what Billy and Mandy was. But if you somehow don't know, The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy was a hit show on Cartoon Network in the early 2000s. Billy and Mandy's a cartoon classic, and for good reason.
Yeah, well, dude, I got chat saying they stopped watching around the time it came out. So I was like, this was kind of in the same situation where this was toward the end of me watching cartoons, but still relevant enough to where I watched it, because I had a little sister that watched cartoons, and I remember watching this and like, what the hell am I watching? This is the most sick and twisted thing I've ever seen, but I'm like jonesing with it, bro. Billy and Mandy was just such a weird fucking show, and I enjoyed every second of it.
It had great characters, it was funny as hell, and compared to some of the other lighthearted cartoons at the time, Billy and Mandy had such an edge to it that just made it so cool and unique. It was the type of show that your parents hated, which made you love it even more. Maxwell Adams has said that he based the show both off the good times of his childhood and the nightmares too.
When you were first starting off with stuff like Billy and Mandy back in the day, like when you got the opportunity to make that show, was it like at the front of your mind to be like, well, I'm going to take all this stuff that like quote-unquote traumatized me as a child from movies and stuff and kind of put it into that?
Yeah, absolutely. That was sort of the whole point, I guess. Yeah, I just wanted to take all this stuff that scared the crap out of me and make fun of it, but also kind of legitimately share it with other people as well.
Maxwell Adams here hits on a note that I don't think a lot of people, myself included, have ever really thought about. Not just the types of fear, but the very feelings of fear that you have in adulthood are night and day different than the feelings of fear that you had in childhood. Most adults would be scared to walk down a dark alley by themselves, mostly out of a realistic fear of another person, but nothing in adulthood even comes close to the type of dread.
Dude, no, tell me if this happened to you. When you were a kid, did you look up in the corner of your room and just like a part of your mind was like, there's somebody in the corner of my room. There's somebody up there just like fucking climbed up all like contorting in the corner of the room, and you had to tell yourself it wasn't there. You had to tell yourself it wasn't there because you knew it was illogical that it was there. And then when you like walk to the bathroom at night, you'd be all scared that something was like following you or watching you, so you'd walk a little faster. Like, the amount of stuff you get scared of as a kid is just like so monumental at the time that now looking back at it as an adult, where I'll just walk freely through my living room, it'll be pitch black, I'll stub my toe, I'll start cussing, and then I'll just go on with my goddamn day.
You felt when you were a kid, and you really did think that there was a monster living in your closet or underneath your bed.
I remember I cried so badly during the Chud movie trailer commercial that my parents came in and they were really concerned, and they made me watch it like 4 times just so I could understand that it wasn't real. And I just kept crying and crying, and it was Chud. I eventually saw that like 2 years ago. Amazing. Just in that it's so not horrifying. And
I've never heard of Chud ever. This is something. Does anybody in chat know what Chud is? I mean, we know who Chud Logic is. He's a British guy that likes to get in controversy, who does commentary. But I don't know what Chud the fucking movie is.
It's just like this bad puppet.
Billy and Mandy's a comedy show first and foremost, and it's mostly remembered for its good writing. But I think what I love most about Billy and Mandy is just how well it captured both of those feelings. Maxwell Adams was really not afraid to scare his young audience when he wanted to.
And you will be my closest, most bestest friend of all.
Since the ending of Billy and Mandy, Maxwell Adams has sold 5 different shows to networks, none of which have ever seen the light of day, either because they get canceled or they get placed on the back burner where they reside forever. Maxwell Adams, understandably pissed off at major networks, decides to take his next project in a different direction. Thus, the Dead Meat Kickstarter was born.
Hey, I'm Maxwell Adams, creator of Cartoon Network's Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, Evil Concarne, and Underfist. And I'm here to talk to you about something I'm super passionate about.
Mexican food? Ooh, please tell me it's Mexican food!
Dead Meat was to be an R-rated puppet film about a mercenary named Heck and his mutant dog, Dead Meat, surviving together in a post-apocalyptic...
I would watch this in a heartbeat, just out of the fucking novelty of it.
Los Angeles.
I watched that weird movie with the chick, I don't know, the heavyset chick from, goddammit, Bridesmaids. What's her name? Melissa McCarthy. I watched the weird puppet movie with Melissa McCarthy because I thought it was so funny that they had a R-rated puppet movie. Like, I was like, dude, there's an R-rated puppet movie where they're fucking investigating people. That's so interesting. It's going to be so funny. It ended up being really mid and kind of bad. Like, no, it wasn't mid. It was just a bad movie. It was kind of awful. But and the worst part about that movie, too, is that there's so much potential there, and they didn't utilize any of the potential to make the movie. I think something like this could go so hard, and the fact that we haven't seen it is wild.
Dead Meat is a sweethearted dog, much the opposite of his immoral killer owner, Heck. Among their travels, they pick up a mutant named Suzuki Jackson, who's prophesized to unite all mutants and end...
Suzuki Jackson? What the fuck is that name, dude? Suzuki Jackson. Bro, fucking great name.
...the human race. Chasing after them is Claude, an old enemy of Hex and an officer of the Conglomerate, a paramilitary state that's hunting after Suzuki. There's comedy, action, car chases, bar shootouts. It's just one awesome looking movie. You also gotta give it to him. We don't get a lot of R-rated puppet movies, and the ones we do get are usually terrible.
Yeah, this movie was awful. This is one of the worst films I've ever seen, and I watched it because of how bad how much potential there was in this idea. An R-rated puppet movie just sounds so funny, but it dropped the bag so hard.
Dead Meat is definitely an R-rated web series. That means exploding puppets, gross-out jokes galore, and dialogue taken straight from a sailor's mouth. But don't worry, I'm not going to make you watch episode after episode of nothing but puppet gore. That's one of the features of Dead Meat, but it's not the whole tamale.
Real quick, I know I'm calling it a movie, but it was originally pitched as a web series. But at some point, everyone was just saying it should be a movie, and Maxwell Adams seemed to agree with them at some point, so yeah, it's a movie. Kickstarter is always a risky gambit, but Maxwell Adams has a real good track record to gathering audiences' attention.
Dude, so far the art goes so fucking hard. Tell me this art isn't amazing, dude. This looks so good.
In fact, the only reason Billy and Mandy ever premiered at all was because it won a Cartoon Network contest to be its next featured show, with flying colors. In a weird way, Maxwell Adams' entire career is based off knowing what audiences want better than producers do. Within a month, Dead Meat had raised $56,000 from over 1,000 contributors, which is crazy successful for Kickstarter. Success was guaranteed from here on out.
In vain. Oh yeah, we're all dead meat.
Oh yeah, dude, but So that's a different type of. Those are more marionette puppets than the fucking fluffy type puppets that he's doing. That movie, and like that was like a whole different undertaking. So look at Team America compared to like your fucking Sesame Street. The charm in like those fuzzy puppets, right, is the fact that you're getting that fucking Sesame Street, the Kermit the Frog style stuff, but with raw mentality. You just don't see that. When it came to the South Park thing, it was more of like those 50s Christmas movies or 60s Christmas movies. You know, I'm Mr. Heat Meisner. I'm Mr. 101. It was more that type of movie, which is still a puppet, but I think that we're in a different type of puppet here. But I agree. That movie's amazing. Team America World Police is an amazing film.
Dead Meat started off strong with a killer confirmed cast. Dana Snyder was to play Dead Meat.
A number? Yeah, I bet you do a number. In your tights on Broadway, which is where you moved to after you left Texas Chainsaw Mascara.
And Josh Sussman was to play Claude.
I got to work with Maxwell Adams for 3 seasons on Fishhooks. This is the first time he ever invited me to lunch.
Although it starts to seem like Maxwell underestimated just how much it would cost to make the project. See, $56,000 might seem like a lot, but for a feature...
Yeah, dude, I was already thinking about how low amount of money this is. Like, Team America World Police, that movie cost a ton of money because they had to, like, just fucking Kim Jong-un's glasses in that movie cost, like, half of the cost of making that film.
Length movie, it's really not. Napoleon Dynamite is a low-budget movie that was barely able to squeeze by on a budget of $400,000. The Blair Witch Project, a film made on basically nothing, still took around $30,000 to $65,000 just to film. Kevin Smith was just barely able to make Clerks in 1994, a film mostly at a convenience store he already worked at, and sold his massive comic book collection just to get the funds to complete. Still took him $25,500 just to make the movie. Normally, filmmakers without funds either just make a short film just to release or just as a proof of concept. But since this Kickstarter promised a full-length movie, that really wasn't an option for Maxwell. Maxwell Adams seemed at some point to realize the money he raised was not going to be enough. So what now? Well, the movie is mainly made with puppets and miniatures, so at the very least, there isn't a small time frame by which everything needs to get filmed. So, at the very least, planning accordingly, Maxwell can film what he has and then use whatever money he saves up in the future to continuously make the film. This was going to be a much more time-consuming, lengthier version of making the movie, but as Maxwell Adams himself said perfectly, in the triad of time, money, and quality, one has to suffer. And Maxwell chose time. So, years went by, and over the years, Maxwell did provide plenty of footage and behind the scenes, both to show that Dead Meat was still progressing and that Dead Meat wasn't just some scam where he was running off with everything.
Yeah, dude, 32 million. Google says 32 million for Team America. I was telling you, dude, that movie was fucking expensive. It was a very expensive film. And the fact that he's doing this on 50,000 is insane.
We got footage of the rundown VW bus that they tracked down to film Riot Maker. We got footage of the entire miniature city that apparently Maxwell Adams built all himself by hand. I mean, holy shit. Maxwell is still working at Warner Brothers through a lot of this, but over the years, Maxwell released so much footage that shows that him and his friends are still working thoroughly on Dead Meat throughout all these years. And his work was definitely paying off. I mean, the miniatures and cars look fantastic. The puppets look good. I mean, it's no We Are Animals, but they do work for the goofier tone that Maxwell was going for, and what his budget would allow. Maxwell describes working on this almost every day for 7 years. He described losing friends, lovers, and job opportunities in order to make this.
Bro's like, I don't need pussy. All I need is the movie Dead Meat to happen. I don't need to fucking anything other than just making car models. Bro, he's living the average 40K fan's life.
The longer the project took, the more he slowly drove himself insane. The more he says he started to use the project as an excuse just to ruin his life. But like a giant slab of marble, Dead Meat would slowly but surely be chiseled into a masterpiece.
Like, I had no idea this was a thing, but when are we going to get to why it's illegal to own? I'm so crazy. I'm so crazy interested on why this is illegal to own this movie.
Forward to November 2019. Maxwell is now...
I know it's going to be a stupid fucking reason, too. Like, some weird license. Like, it was, like, picked up by a studio and then shut down.
...position to finally film the scenes that require human actors. And the scene that Maxwell apparently had to talk himself into letting his own house get wrecked in order to film. I can only imagine that he's talking about this scene. I mean, this is a post-apocalyptic bar that I'm guessing is Maxwell's real house.
It was when I first met. The first time I met you was the day that you were like, I need people to come fuck up my house.
Yeah, the graffiti's actually all still there, and I've been meaning to...
Yeah, dude, see, it's gonna be some copyright bullshit. Yeah, it's gonna be...
Did you do that?
I hate when they hit me with the legal, because in your mind, you're like, oh, dude, they probably put some sick fucking... There's probably some, like, fucking butthole stretching, or chainsaw to buttholes, and they didn't use the right safety precautions, and so now you have legitimate gore, or something like that, and it ends up being like, oh, he used fucking one of Madonna's songs.
The bug person?
I don't think I did that one. Maybe I did. I wrote the word poop above your door.
Yeah, I remember that.
It's a gritty patchwork shelter that leads into an epic shootout between Heck, Claude, and the mutants. I'm not sure why he chose his own house here instead of just, like, I don't know, a place on Pier Space or something, but whatever. These scenes were going to be expensive and demanding, but definitely the most showcasey. But after filming some of these hella expensive scenes, the mother of all bad revelations revealed itself. Maxwell was working with a few decently bigger actors who were also part of SAG, the Screen Actors Guild. And not only were their contracts expensive, but Maxwell learned way too late that it's also illegal to film with mixed SAG actors and non-SAG actors, meaning that everything
Dude, fucking dumb, dude. This is why I hate unions, bro. This is why the movie's illegal, is because you had non-SAG actors. Come on, dude. This is worse than the copyright shit. Jesus Christ, bro. So fucking cringe, dude.
Maxwell just spent 2 months filming was now illegal footage and illegal to show people.
Okay, so after talking to a few people, the legality on it is a bit more complicated than that.
It's not against California state law, but SAG strictly prohibits mixing SAG and non-SAG actors. And
fuck you, SAG. You guys protest all the time, but this is why... Fuck you guys, dude. This is so annoying that it's like... I get it, unions are good, they protect people, blah, blah, blah. Shut the fuck up, dude. Now I can't watch this movie because, like, you hired a couple actors because you had no fucking budget. The fact that you hired, like, just some union ones, good. Maybe that could have been exposure for these people that aren't in SAG yet.
Any actors...
How much is a SAG membership, bro? Like, how much... Yes, a performer must pay an initiation fee of $3,000. Annual base dues of $231.96. So you're expecting every one of these actors to have that, like, some of these people are probably up and coming. This is where they paywall you. This is how things like this paywall, like performers and artists from actually being able to be performers and artists. So, because these guys can't afford it and because you don't have the money to make everything, you gotta only use SAG actors. Fuck you.
That were part of the Screen Actors Guild who appeared in the film could easily get barred for life from SAG, depending on how successful Dead Meat became. There are also some potential contracts that, if Maxwell signed, would make it illegal to release the film without SAG's permission. There are some very niche conditions by which it would be okay to mix both SAG and non-SAG actors, but even as low budget as Dead Meat was, it doesn't qualify.
Dude, look at this. Look at this. Budget at $20,000 or less per picture per episode. Fuck you, dude. Dude, this is why this is paywalling small creators, because $20,000 is nothing. You can't make shit. Dude, Kevin Smith couldn't even make Clerks for $20,000. So you're telling, dude, this is how Hollywood's paywalling like indie creators from being able to like get somebody decent in their shit and still afford to make that movie. This is bad. This is bad. This would make me like, every time I see like a actor strike or anything from now on, I'm gonna think of this and think you guys are privileged fucking douchebags, and you dude, this is fucked. You're fucking small creators is what you're doing. Thank God for things like YouTube. And people might say this is a fucking bad take, but this is literally stopping art from happening. The shit that everybody vehemently is so for. Oh, you gotta respect the artists, respect the artists. Well, this doesn't respect artists.
Any of them. And even if it did, there would be heavy rules on how it could be distributed. But I don't know what contracts he signed.
Permanent exhibition. Jesus.
So I can't say on any of that for sure. Either way, not having the funds to reshoot all that essential footage, it was a devastating decision, no doubt, but Maxwell ultimately decided not to continue the project anymore. On January 22nd, 2020, Maxwell Atoms announced on Kickstarter that Dead Meat couldn't go any further. He released the full script online for anyone to read and offered all the backers a full refund. A lot of which refusing to take it, saying they were just sorry this happened to him. His fans were a lot more interested in Maxwell taking care of himself at this point than giving any more flesh and blood to this movie. But since the movie isn't coming out anytime soon, and let's be honest, you're not reading that script anytime soon either, I thought I'd just give you an overview of the story and its events and everything that happens. Think of this like Shmoop, except you don't have an exam coming up. Alright, you ready? Here we go. Intro, title card. We open up on some establishing shots of a radioactive, destroyed Los Angeles, where we meet our protagonist, Heck, who's currently being tortured in the basement of what used to be a Beverly Hills mansion. He's being electrocuted by some mutant cockroaches, and right when they're about to cut his dick off, Dead Meat bursts in the door wearing an awful cockroach costume. But when the act doesn't get them to budge, Dead Meat rips off the costume and explains that Heck's his master and his best friend, and that he's a really cool guy underneath it all, and that he promises not to get revenge if you free him. When the cockroaches are fooled, they untie Heck, only for him to immediately begin killing them in puppety gore. They begin walking through corridors until they find another prisoner, Suzuki Jackson. Heck knows Suzuki and knows that she has a bounty worth a fortune, but before he can shoot her, Dead Meat body blocks, insisting that they take her in alive. And since Dead Meat just saved Heck from having his dick ripped off, he reluctantly agrees.
This sounds amazing. This sounds fucking awesome. And we don't get this because of fucking SAG, bro. Fuck SAG, bro. Now, my opinion on SAG might change in the future. I don't know. But right now, I am vehemently against the Screen Actors Guild. They're a bunch of pussies. A bunch of fucking pussies that are ruining small artists' chance to become successful. We are getting deprived of the greatness of what could have been this movie. Even if the movie was shit, I think this would have been the fun type of shit. I think this would have been the fun type of AIDS to gulp down on.
He's driving to take her back in his post-apocalyptic Volkswagen bus, Riot Maker.
Did you know you can AFK Bloods and...
It's like, dude, I'm getting fucking, I'm getting none of this greatness. Even if this was a shitty movie, this would be, I feel like this would have been shitty like the Postal movie shitty, where it's still enjoyable.
Home, Heck gets pulled over by a conglomerate officer named Claude. The conglomerate are like a weird mix of government, religion, corporations, and media. Basically anything that can brainwash people. Oh, and since they're all those things mixed together, they're called the conglomerate. I see what you did there, Max. Claude and Heck have some heavy history that isn't explained yet, but Claude makes vague threats to Heck about how it's a death penalty to be harboring mutants. Claude also talks about Suzuki Jackson and how she's the most dangerous mutant alive since she's prophesized to unite all mutants under one banner and hunt humanity into extinction. He fails to notice the two mutants in the bus and lets Heck go for now, but when Heck gets back into his car, he finds Dead Meat and Suzuki making out. Over the next few days, the gang meets a few new characters, and Dead Meat and Suzuki begin growing closer and closer to each other, much to the dismay of Heck, who feels his control over Dead Meat loosening. We get a quick flashback to the before the war and see Heck really treating Dead Meat like garbage. In fact, we also learn that Dead Meat's real name is Randy, and that Heck's just been calling him Dead Meat because he's an asshole. Heck visits a bar called the Lick Room, but while he's there, Claude bursts in and confronts him about holding Suzuki. While this happens, a gang of hella tough mutants named the Cabazon burst in, also looking for Suzuki. Tensions rise, a shootout follows in which Claude and Heck just barely make it out alive. And yes, this is the scene that destroyed Maxwell Adams' house. When Heck gets back, he finds his car gone and—
Bro destroyed his own fucking house for this movie and it's never coming out. This is a fucking jizz hurricane of AIDS coming into your house and then shutting it down forever and you get nothing from it. The jizz hurricane just ruined everything and now we're left with fucking crabs and gonorrhea and a patch of fucking gout. This is what we have. We have nothing. Big sad life.
Note from Dead Meat saying he's no longer interested in turning in Suzuki, and that she and him have run off together. Heck, not taking the news well, follows after them in Macmillan's car. The finale is a giant epic car battle between Heck, Dead Meat, the mutants, and the conglomerate. And let me tell you, this battle goes on a while. At the end, basically everyone dies except Suzuki and Dead Meat. But when Heck's about to die, Dead Meat leaves Suzuki for him, and they go out together in a blaze of glory against the conglomerate. I've been a Kickstarter lurker for a long time, and Dead Meat is definitely one of the coolest and most interesting projects I've ever seen on it. And despite clearly underestimating how much money it would cost to make the movie, Maxwell Adams' commitment to complete—
A lot of video games completely die because of music copyright. At some point, the developers don't renew copyright games, leave Steam, and without emulators, it's literally gone forever. Yeah, dude, I fucking hate the copyright system in this country so bad. Like, it's just weird. We live in such a, corporate dystopian when it comes to copyright law. Like, all because Disney decided they needed Mickey Mouse for 87 gajillion years, we're not allowed to enjoy stuff. Like, this sucks. It sucks. I think that once a project's out there, and because they don't do that with movies that much. So I don't understand why video games get screwed so hard with it.
It is nothing less of outstanding. You can literally look through years of BTS footage of Maxwell Adams trying everything under the sun to make this movie work, only to find out the footage he was shooting was illegal due to some nonsense law. It's also very admirable of Maxwell to offer a full refund when he knew he didn't have the funds to finish the movie. I wouldn't be encouraging Maxwell Adams to continue any further with the Dead Meat, as I think it's taken enough of a toll on his soul and well-being. But I would also hope that this hasn't discouraged Maxwell Adams, or anybody for that matter, to give up on art entirely. Maxwell seems to be in a better place now, but the idea that he views the time he dedicated into this project as a waste just makes me so sad. So Maxwell, if you're out there, I know you don't know me, but I wanted you to know that I thought Dead Meat was awesome. So take care of yourself, and I can't wait to see what you come up with next.
Wow. Wow, that's such a sad story. Broke into your house and stole it, then leak it online. Exactly, dude. That's the thing. Finish the movie, then claim somebody broke into your house and stole it, then leak it online. Yeah, dude. Yeah, movies do things differently somehow. Yeah, dude, I don't understand why it's different for movies to be able to use music in that certain way, and then games are not. Games, it's like we can lose a game forever just because of weird bullshit industry crap that nobody cares about. oh, dude, I might lose 15 cents this year because Grand Theft Auto decided it doesn't want to pay for it anymore. Shut up, dude. Go cry in your mansion a little fucking harder. So dumb. So dumb. But that's all I got for you guys today. This is crap. That was crap. That was BS. This has been my most successful stream. It's kind of winding down for the night. Jacob Embry, you're the last remaining guy in chat. Thank you so much for being here. I love you. I love everybody who joined my stream tonight. You guys have all been real ones. It's been fucking great. I'll catch you on the next one. Deuces.